Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Whiskey Six for Thursday, September 25th. Thanks for being here. New time. We're going to start going at 8:30 from here on out, just because it's work night for most of us, and it's a little better to get off here a little bit earlier. So this will be our new time. And so thank you all for joining us. If you're out there, we appreciate you. We're going to have a little bit of a short crew tonight. We've got a couple folks that got called for some last minute things. But if you are new, either watching live or watching the replay, I am Brian from Bourbon School. Marianne will be here shortly. She's out doing mom's taxi right now. So she'll be here shortly and join us for all the fun and discussion of our topics tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about, we found an article about Wild Turkey kind of sticking to their guns on, how they're marketing and the product they're making. We want to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on the last couple of weeks, not just about Charlie Kirk, but also about some of the issues that have come up around free speech and cancel culture, because we definitely have some folks here who have some opinions about that. Thank you, Anthony, Bourbon Neophyte, for being here. If you guys are not subscribed to Bourbon Neophyte, go ahead and do that. Our buddy Rob Haas Walker is here. Rob, I'm coming up on Saturday, and I will drop your bottle. Rob won a bottle on our Barrel Shop live stream. He won the Barrel Shop JD single barrel proof pick. And so I'll be hand delivering that, like literally hand delivering, not just hand delivering it to you, Rob, on Saturday. So look forward to that. But I'm not going to sit here and ramble too much, guys. There's Myron in the back. How's it going, Myron? We'll bring him out in just a minute. So we're going to be short. Bobby got called kind of last minute. His boy is in town from being on duty with the Air Force. So they're having an evening, and he's going to spend some time with his family. So we don't think Bobby will be here, maybe a little bit at the end, but we'll see. And then Ben is getting ready to head off to Europe on a European cruise. So he may come in a little bit later, but may not. So that's kind of what we're looking at tonight. But the rest of the crew is here. We're ready to have a good discussion about these topics. And let me shut up and bring people in. So first, let's bring in our newest Whiskey Sixer. He's going to be one of our regular panelists now. You know him from a DRC bar. Let's bring in Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, sir?
And I'm great. It's been a week, and I'm looking forward to a pour in a minute.
All right. What are you going to pour first?
I've got Eagle Rare 12, and I got this Wild Turkey 12. So I've cracked the Eagle
12.
Rare.
That's the import?
What's that?
The Wild Turkey is the import?
That's the one. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Bob's got this one. I've sipped on his, and it's pretty good. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see what we decide to get into.
Our buddy Rob right here, he got us a sample of that one. He actually had one. It was like in the box and everything. And he's like, go ahead and open it for a video. So he let us crack his bottle for him. And awesome. It was actually really good. It was a really nice pour. So
yeah, Bobby's has the purple box. Mine didn't come with the box, but
yeah, okay. Rob's had the purple box as well. Yeah. All right, right on. All right. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate you.
You bet.
Tony C says, Rick.
What's up, Tony?
Is that Tony C from our fantasy football league?
Yes, absolutely.
I believe I am playing Tony C this week. Hopefully I get my first win, because I am 0 for the season. And it's
you and I are we're both on the schneid. What's up? We've got to get off the
schneid. Well, at least when we play each other, one of us has got to win, right?
That's right.
So Tony, good to see you. And Stymie, good to see you. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Start all your Packers players at Dallas. I hear tell you should also start all your Bills players who are playing New Orleans, and it is potentially the biggest point spread of the year. It's something like 15 points or something. It's a crazy point spread. Yeah. So not much faith in the Saints this year, I guess. All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our next panel member. It is going to be from Mash and Metal and Whiskey Wars. Jesus, Sean, I almost forgot your channels there. Let's bring him in. The Whiskey Cowboy, Sean. Sean, what is up?
Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Good to see everybody. Going to be another great show. Cannot wait. Talking wild turkey and free speech, two of my favorite topics. Yeah, so.
We should just turn the show over to you.
Wild turkey guy.
Yeah, so cheers, everybody. Yeah, good to see everybody.
Cheers. Thanks for being here. Sean, what are you drinking?
I just poured a little bit of the 2025 Heroes to start off. Start off a little light. Yeah. Plus, I kind of got into it quite a bit last night, so I'm going to try and take it light tonight. So, yeah.
A man who knows its limits. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this should be a good discussion. I know you are a big wild turkey fan, and you are also, like you said, a big free speech fan. So this will be fun to talk about, I think. All right, and let's bring in our last panelist, potentially our last panelist for the night. We'll see if anybody else trickles in. But from the Bourbon Drop, you know him, you love him. It is Myron. Myron, what is up?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Last but not least, I got to go in alphabetical order. We've got Brian, we've got Rick, and then we've got Sean. So, BRS. But no, man, just got to give you guys a shout out. I know we're going to get into a lot of quote unquote controversial topics. I don't think we'll get too controversial. We'll give how we feel, and we'll keep it kind of vanilla tonight. I'm going to keep it light tonight. I've got a run at 10:15, so just a little bit of red stripe. Nice. And when this glass is done, it's done, and then there's water.
Nice. The rest. What do you got in the glass there?
Just some OF 100, man. Orange label.
Nice. Classic. Yeah. Classic. I am doing my old dusty. It's not really that dusty, but my old dusty Knob Creek.
Oh, it's dusty.
It absolutely delicious. I have hit this one pretty hard. It's almost gone, and I'll be very sad when it's gone.
Is that a 9?
It's dusty. That's the one that got me hooked.
Yeah, it's a Knob Creek 9, and the laser code on it is something like 2012 or something. Like it's super old. Yeah. Right. So it's a nice one.
Even today, Knob Creek 9s are such a buy. I mean, you get one of those 120 proof store picks for $54.99 all day long. It's a great pour.
We have a shop. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get it. So we've got a shop up in Buffalo. I'm going up this weekend, and they just got a cast strength pick. It's 122.6, and I'm gonna go grab one, and I'm excited to crack that one because I've heard good things about this one in particular, but I've heard good things about them in general. I wish they went a little higher with the proof because I heard they're like kind of topping out around 125 or something. Is that correct?
I heard 128, but somebody was telling me that they were at the distillery and saw something in the mid 130s.
Ooh.
I would love to get my hands on one of those.
That would be amazing. So when we did a Knob Creek pick at the store up the street, and they sent us the samples, and the highest proof on one of the because they send you the samples, and then they give you the cylinder to tell you how much to add to proof it down to 120. And the highest one we had, I think, was like 126 or something. And that was the highest. And we had to then proof them down. It's kind of a pain, but whatever. But I would love to try some Knob Creek at a higher proof for sure.
If you look at most of the Booker's releases, they're in that kind of mid 20s range. That's kind of standard for Beam products. So
it's not Booker's not the same as Knob Creek. It's not the same juice, is it?
I believe
Booker's
Old Granddad, when they came out with the small batch series, I believe all of those are the same. So when I was doing some research, because I did a video a while back, but then I get on the internet and it seems like shit changes, man. It's like nothing ever stays the same. So, but when I found some information on it, everything that came out from Booker No, that was his small batch selection, was Baker's, Old Granddad, Booker's, and Knob Creek. And supposedly they all shared the same mash bill. But then I read some other stuff, and they say that even though these are high rye mash bills, that Old Granddad is the highest rye of them. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think the Old Granddad line, like, so, which would be the OGD and then the belt bottle that nobody cares about.
Basil Hayden's, yeah.
Yeah, I think those two are actually a slightly different mash bill than the rest of the stuff that Beam puts out. But I think I don't know if that's still true, but I know it used to be at one point. I don't know if it still is true.
I have heard
21.
I've heard. What was that?
I'm sorry. Is that 21 out yet? That Knob Creek 21?
Yes.
I heard about?
Yes.
Well, is it already hit?
Bourbon Kingdom has it, but they said it's not going to drop for another month, so it won't be out until mid or late October. Because I watched their review on it. I don't want to just disappoint you, Rick, but Bourbon Kingdom, they kind of yeah. They were like
I felt
one of the guys.
15.
The guy who actually bought it, the blonde haired guy, he was like, man, it's just too oaky. And then the other guy who didn't buy it, who they do the channel together, he was like, I think he said it was a hard pass for him actually.
Oh wow!
So,
really?
I mean,
yeah,
you think of other spirits. I mean, the Old Fitz 19 overly oaky, the Pappy 23 way too oaky, but like the 17 is amazing. So everybody's just a little different. Like the 18 is decent. I think I like the 18. It's smooth. The 12 is great, but there's a fall off for me on the Knob Creek 15. So like I go 9, 12, and then 18. Skip the 15, but everybody's different.
Yeah. I thought the 18 was over oaked. I was not a huge fan of it, and the 21 didn't really interest me. I don't know what the price is going to be, but it's going to be well over 200, right? I mean, it's got to be.
It's going to be stupid.
All right, so fellas, I had to know the answer, so I got on the Google. So all of your Jim Beam products, Old Crow, Old Taylor, Knob Creek, Bakers, and Bookers are all the low rye, kind of more standard mash bill, and then your high rye stuff is all the OGD and Basil Hayden's. So there we go.
All right,
so weird.
Mrs. DRC in the house.
Yeah.
What is up?
Hey, yeah.
She's dialing in from work.
Nice. OG Brick, good to see you. O'Malley, what up, Rick?
What's going on?
Apple pie moonshine. What?
Oh yeah, it's getting to the fall. I'm going to go into batch 4. We're going to see if batch 4 is the new winner.
Right on.
I'm 3 years in on my 190 proof apple pie moonshine that has 0 burn. So batch 3 so far is the winner.
Right
okay,
on.
Cool.
That's awesome. Guys, real quick, if you're watching on any other channel besides the Whiskey Sick Chicks, the Whiskey Sick channel,
all right,
go ahead and come on over to the Whiskey Six. You can find a link, I believe, in the description of the videos, or just search for @Whiskey6 and you'll find us. And come on over, watch it on the main channel, and join us over here so you can chat with everybody who's in the chat. Again, we appreciate y'all for being here tonight. Let's get into it, guys. So I'm going to share the screen real quick for this video or this article about wild turkey. And I'm trying to figure out for myself if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So Bobby found this article in the Whiskey Wash. It basically says wild turkey. Wild turkey.
Whiskey shits wild jerky.
There it is. Rejects change in a new global campaign. Celebrating master distiller Jimmy Russell's 71-year commitment to maintaining the brand's original bourbon recipe despite industry pressures to change. And if you read the article, it basically is talking about them, Wild Turkey as a company, kind of standing firm in not really changing for change's sake, while other companies are kind of chasing, whether it be new finishes or new avenues of whiskey. I know American light whiskey is very popular right now and things like that, American single malt. Wild Turkey, with the exception of a few special releases that really aren't anything like crazy finishes or anything. A lot of them just have to do with age or exceptional barrels that they put into an exceptional bottle, but they really are not chasing a lot of things that the other companies are doing. And I kind of feel like I respect it. I just, as as somebody who's not really an industry insider, I don't know if it's a very like smart move to do, if like being like kind of the old school, we're going to stay with what we got us here is a good thing, or if they're going to get left behind by companies who are innovating a little more. So I guess the question to the group is like, what do you think about that? Do you think this is a smart move? Is this something where people are going to respect it and kind of stick with Wild Turkey because of it? Or do you think they're going to get left in the dust? I'll go bottom to top. So let's start with Myron.
Why the hell I got to be a bottom, man? I ain't never been on that side of the fence. I don't swing both ways. God damn.
What if I said you were a power bottom?
I still don't even want. I don't want no association with a bottom. No, look.
Honestly, Myron is a power bottom. Let everyone
look. Live your life how you live it. I'm not judging. I'm just making jokes. You know, comedy is comedy. I'll say this, Brian. So nobody has changed. Think about it. Like Wild Turkey has done finished releases. Other people have done finished releases.
Sure.
Has anybody changed their mash bill? No. Wild Turkey has never changed their mash bill. They've been doing it the same way for 71 years, according to Jimmy, because Jimmy's been there. I enjoy their products. Maybe somebody at one point said we need to get that Wild Turkey funk out of it, and they enjoyed that. Jimmy, according to Bruce, Jimmy loves high proof stuff. Booker loved high proof stuff. Elmer, that worked for Buffalo Trace Sazerac, didn't like high proof stuff. You know, so they were always chasing flavor, but they never chased a trend. Like, even I would say, like Knob Creek doesn't. Think about it. How many double oak products do you see from Knob Creek? You don't. Like, no. I haven't seen any double oak products from Wild Turkey. The only double oak products I've seen from Elijah Craig have been the Elijah Craig toasted rye and the toasted bourbon. Other than that, they don't do. But everybody's done some type of finish. And honestly, I'm trying to think. The only finish that Beam has done is when they did the Suntory blend.
The
cherry.
Legion?
Yeah, the Legion. When they did
that was like a red wine finish or something, right?
Yeah. And then some of the little books have some weird stuff going on, but yeah.
But that's pretty it. So nobody, in my opinion, they're not doing anything that nobody else is doing. I mean, they're keeping it the same as they've always done. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like New Riff, or let's say a company like I'm drawing a blank. Peerless. What is that? The Sweet Mash. Beam, Wild Turkey, Heaven Hill. They didn't say, you know what, this Sweet Mash thing is catching on with Peerless. Let's do a Sweet Mash. They didn't. You know. So,
all right, Sean, you want to chime in?
I completely agree with mine. I think when you're these big legacy brands, you don't really need to chase these kind of trends that are going on, at the current time. I think that's a thing that smaller brands do to try and get noticed. But when you're Wild Turkey, I don't think that's the thing you need to do. Right. I mean, especially since, they have been through the ups and downs of the whiskey business already multiple times. There's been many lows in bourbon over the decades, and they've lived through all those and continued to be successful. So I think they're kind of used to this. I mean, it always hurts when any kind of business is in a downtrend, but they'll get through it. They have many times over. So I don't think they need to chase some kind of new trend to remain relevant. So
I think I'm with you on that one. Rick, what about you?
I'm with the guys. I mean, I think if you're one of the legacy brands, you don't have to. I think if you're a newer, up and coming distillery, you're trying to create a name for yourself. You're doing some things that are a little trendier to try to catch people's attention. And I got to be honest, man, I love Wild Turkey and I love Buffalo Trace in terms of the distilleries. I love finished whiskeys. I mean, I've got this, and Bobby will tell you about it. I've got this Founders Collection and Verana Rabbit Hole that is arguably like a top 5 out of every single bottle I've had. Wow. And it's just so good. The finish is amazing. So I definitely love finished whiskeys, double oaks and so forth. But I don't think Sazerac or Wild Turkey, they have to. I don't think they have to. Yeah, because they're legacy brands.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen, this guy Stymie says, as long as they're pumping out 13s and 15s, throwing a Camp Nelson, they don't have any. I think, yeah, I mean I think they're the things I respect about Wild Turkey is everything that comes out of them except 101 recently. And Sean, I know you'll disagree with me, but I'm not. You're gonna pick that big handle.
I do.
There you go.
I do disagree.
I'm so glad Bobby's not on for this segment because we can bash 101.
I can't. I just cannot do 101. I do though. I saw you have the 8-year. I do like the 8-year because I think that bitterness just is gone. The regular 101, like I've said in the past, a couple of the last few bottles I've had have been terribly bitter. But like other than that, I think what is impressive about them is obviously their legacy distillery. They've been around forever, but the fact that they do so many different things with one mash bill.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's just amazing how many different iterations and how many different, I mean, they all have a little bit of that funk in them. And I think a lot of times you can tell you're drinking Wild Turkey, but they really do put out a nice variety of stuff. And it's all the same whiskey in the bottle. It's just a matter of age or just, this barrel is better than that barrel. And I think
warehouse
that's
location.
really impressive.
Yeah, and blending. They're great at blending different profiles. Yeah.
Of course. But like, I just think that is impressive. And why mess with it? Like, why chase trends and why go after stuff and mess with it? And I think you guys are all right. Like, I'm like, I was asking initially, do you think Wild Turkey will kind of get passed by or left in the dust? And it's like, no, it's Wild Turkey. Like everybody, like I'm always going to buy a bottle of Rare Breed or bottle of Russell's Reserve. Like I'll always buy those. They'll always be on my shelf. And Sean, for whatever reason, will always buy a Wild Turkey 101 and he'll be happy.
Because they're $35 for a 175 and clearance on Kroger. Yeah.
Sean, have you done head to head the 8-year and the regular?
Yeah, so I actually did the full head to head of the 70th, the 8-year, and the regular Shelfer 101 last Saturday evening.
Okay.
And just going back to the variety and profile that Wild Turkey is able to accomplish through the same mash bill. When you compare the 70th to the 8-year, they are wildly different profiles. Mm-hmm. And like we've all talked about, it's same mash bill. It's just, picking different barrels, blending differently. So you can do a lot with the same whiskey. So, And sure. Obviously the 8-year and the 70th are better. I don't think they're wildly better, but they're also, like I said, that thing is $35 for a 175 right now. My 8-year cost me $45 for a 750. So that is a huge difference in price.
And value pour for sure.
What's that?
It's a value pour for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So so it better be better.
One of the things I did a video a few weeks back about like bottles that like aren't as good as they used to be, and Wild Turkey 101 was one of them. So I did a follow-up video that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks about like, okay, so I just shit on like these 5 bottles, but like what can you get instead that is comparable or better? And the Wild Turkey 101 was a hard one because of the price point. Like there's not another bottle that's like comparable at that price point that I didn't already use. Like I used Old Forester Signature for Early Times Bottle and Bond. So like I can't go to that one. And there really isn't another comparable one. And one of the ones I suggested was the 8-year because I think it's better. But now you're talking about double the price basically for Wild Turkey 101. So it is a value pour, and I do see why people do enjoy it. It's just, I don't know, it's changed for me, and I don't know if it's my palate or if it's the whiskey that's changed. But I
will agree with you, Brian, that I do think it has changed to some degree. I don't have an issue with that statement. I think that there's definitely younger whiskey in the Shelfer 101 now.
Okay. And you think that's sacrificed for things like the 8-year and the 70th and stuff like that? Yeah. All right. And that's one thing that I don't like, and this could be a whole nother discussion, but that's one thing that I am noticing is a lot of those bottles are suffering because they are putting out so many of like a special edition, limited release, stuff like this. And obviously that takes the juice and it all trickles down. And I think we've had this discussion before. Like
Basically, the same
the
discussion we
special
had with
releases and stuff
Heaven
like that is kind of dumbing down the shelfers.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
guys
kind
tried
of the discussion we had with Heaven Hill and how, you know, since they started the bottle your own program and all that. I mean, that's you're taking away from your, you know, the amount of higher age whiskeys you have.
Sure.
Go ahead, Rick.
Have you guys tried the non-chill filtered rare breed?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yes.
I cannot wait until that thing is a shelfer, which is coming.
Yeah, man.
Coming.
This is insane.
Sure. These, so I don't know if I've said this before. These are like $35 at the duty free at the Peace Bridge in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So you
talk
go over
about
to
talk
Canada.
about a value.
Right. And it's a
Yeah.
liter. It's not even a 750, it's a liter. They are $35 and they are like, you go over to Canada, have some lunch or something, come back, pop in the duty free and grab, like our buddy Rob, who was just in the chat, he buys them by the case. And
Damn.
it's absolutely incredible. It's such a bargain. Yeah. I'll be happy when they come out on the regular, because it is better too, but it's not going to be $35 anymore.
We got to talk, Brian, because your buddy Rob, if he buys them by the case, we might need to get one to Maryland at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Next time I go over, I'll grab some and get.
Yeah,
get
I
one
think
to you. Sure,
Rob
that's
Walker
absolutely
he
delicious.
signed off for the night. But yeah, cheers, Rob.
I got you one, Sean. Did you kill it already, or is this you still got it?
I have a little bit left.
Okay.
My man. That's
Yeah.
my man right there. Like me and Sean, we drink very similarly.
Hey, if you give me whiskey, I'm going to drink it. It's not for looking
You
at.
damn right.
Byron, I for sure can get you one. I'll talk to Rob and I'll get you one for sure.
Appreciate it. We'll
right.
work some things out behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
absolutely. All right. Why don't we move on? I think we talked as much about Wild Turkey as we need to, unless anybody wants to say anything else. Let's get into it. So obviously, a couple things that I want to lay out before we get into the discussion, and this is for people watching, people in the chat, whatever. Like, we're not looking to get into a right versus left discussion here or a debate about that. Like, that's not really what this is about, because I think the things that we're going to talk about really transcend that stuff. I don't want to point fingers at one side or the other when we talk about things like free speech and cancel culture, because everybody does it and it affects everybody. And I think I don't know about you guys, you three, but I'm sick to death of listening to people point fingers at one side or the other over the last 2 weeks.
For
I
sure.
think it's gross.
Yeah.
And it's just, I've had enough of it. I can't really listen to it anymore. But I guess we can start with, obviously, a lot of this discussion, a lot of what we're talking about stems from what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
And so, like, if anybody wants to chime in on him, like, for me, I enjoyed listening to him. I was not somebody who, like, agreed with or parroted everything he said. But I did respect a lot about what he said, and I respect how he did it. We were watching the video of the day he was shot, and I was showing Marianne, like, watch what he does. He talks, he puts down the microphone, and then the other person talks. Like, he's not just like pouncing on that microphone ready to jump in. He was a guy who would listen to what you had to say, and every time he was done talking, he put down the microphone. And I think it was intentional. I think he is showing people, like, now I'm prepared to listen to you. I'm not, like, looking to jump in, interrupt you, all that stuff. And I really respected what he was willing to do, like go into basically what is a hostile territory and talk to a lot of college kids who weren't on his side. And I think it's a real loss for us, to the idea of discourse and debate, that he's not here anymore. I think it goes without saying for all of us, like, none of us are going to condone what happened to him. It's an awful thing. And I think our discourse is worse off because he's not here anymore. So if anybody else wants to chime in, I can just go around. Like, Rick, anything on Charlie Kirk before we move on?
I mean, you said so many good things, and you well articulated them. I think the biggest thing for me is that he set probably the best example that I've seen in recent years on how to have a healthy debate with people that have a different point of view than you do.
Right.
And I think the heart of what makes the country great is the varying opinions that we have, different perspectives on religion, finance, politics, rights, freedoms. And I feel like over the last 30 years, our ability to have a constructive conversation with somebody that might have different points of view has been lost. And I don't know if it's a function of social media and people just aren't as conditioned as, just sitting down next to somebody and belling up to a bar or sitting across from a kitchen table. But it's to me, that's tragic. And if we were able to somehow as a society regain that skill set, I think it would mean really good things for the country. And so you think the one differentiating thing about what he stood for was that healthy debate. I mean, I watched a lot of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I agreed with a lot of what he said. I disagreed with some of what he said, like you. And I think how much is on the agree or disagree doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But what he did was he treated people with respect.
Yes.
And he would rebut them and he would, refute data that was either proven to be incorrect or try to correct narratives. But he tried to pull people into common ground. I mean, and just think of that example. If that example could be set by both sides politically, by all Americans, by people that, that socialize, that go to the same church or work together or whatever, think of how much closer we could become. So I think the tragedy is, of course, to his wife and his children. I think the additional tragedy is that he's the first person that I've seen that has had the balls to do what he did. And unfortunately, he lost his life for it. And I think that's a tragedy. So,
yeah, agree. And to your point, real quick, I don't want to step on anybody else's point, but to your point about social media, I think it is a definite factor here because social media has made it so you don't have to debate somebody you don't agree with. Like you can curate a bubble around you of a bunch of people that agree with you. And it becomes almost inconceivable that somebody doesn't share your worldview. And so since you've never had to debate the points or anything, and this is not a left or right thing, it's just a general social media thing. And because you've never had to debate that, it really is hard to take when somebody has a differing view. And I think that is one of the scourges of social media. It's one of the things I hate about it. But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to chime in again. Myron, any thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think that it was tragic that his kids had to be there to see something like that. I would never wish death on anyone. And the fact, like Rick said, and I was thinking this in my head, the fact that it has become lost on us to have a disagreement with a person without demonizing that person. Like, when are we going to start coming back to saying, hey, I disagree with you. I might not like the ideas you have. And shit, I don't even have to like you as a person, but I don't have to hate you. Like there's become a point where we started to hate each other. Like just because of our differing political views. And I've got friends who are left, right, middle, and we all talk about different topics. And I just, even when I disagree with those guys, I think what's lost on us is when we don't know someone, we fail to see them as a human being.
Correct.
So it doesn't hit us as hard when something happens to them. And I think we need to start looking at people more as human beings. And these are living people, because like when what happened to Charlie happened to him, I was like, wow, I was blown away. Like this is something that should have never happened. Like this is, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, he's got 2 kids that will never see their father again. And as the father of 2 kids myself, it just kind of hit me in a different way, but I think we need to start, and I'll make it short. I think we just need to start being able to look at each other like a person and saying, hey, we have different political views and that's it. But I still see you as a human being.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sure.
Sean, anything on Charlie?
Oh, I got a lot, but I'm not going to get into all that tonight. But I think the main thing for me is the way that I looked at this now, kind of reflecting on it for it's over 2 weeks now, is that for me, it was like not just losing of a person that was, regardless of how you may feel about him, important in American politics and an important voice for trying to create debate. But beyond that, I mean, it was like it was an assault on the idea of discourse and free speech. And that's what's probably more concerning to me. I mean, all three of you have kind of already touched on that, but and that's what's been probably the most concerning to me is the way that our political leaders have talked about it afterwards, and the way that they are handling it. That's probably been the most concern. I mean, not to minimize this death, but honestly, the way that our politicians are handling it is scarier than the loss of a single life. As much as I respect the man, I hope that there's not bigger problems on the horizon.
Yeah.
That's what's probably been most concerning to me, just watching the politics over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, I didn't, I gotta say, there was a lot of parts of his memorial that was very hard to watch. I don't know. We got to do better. I mean, it's been like 2 weeks, and my constant thought has been we have to do better than this. Like,
Yes.
we cannot use the death of a father to promote whatever your political thing is. That feels gross.
Yep.
Yes.
And I don't really care what side you're on, and that's the thing is both sides have used this to manipulate their base, which just there's almost nothing that's more infuriating to me than watching politicians use the loss of a life to try and push forward their agenda. That is maddening. Like it's so I just cannot tolerate that at all.
Yeah. Well,
so-
and it's funny because that's the kind of shit you would see in movies being parodied 20, 30 years ago. And now it's like, holy cow, this stuff's happening. Like, and it really is. It's wild. It is wild to see that. I think you're right about that. Like using this for political purposes, and it can, some of the things that are being said can get kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and two, just because it almost feels disrespectful to the man, because Charlie Kirk was so much about free speech and open discourse, to then take his death as an opportunity, as an affront against free speech, is like a slap in the face to him. I mean, it's like, what are you doing right now?
Yes.
So that's been very frustrating to watch. But and I guess we'll kind of get into that more as we go through the various topics that we have to go through tonight. But just really frustrated about, and then of course, not to get into all that, but very frustrated by the way the case has been handled as well. But
agree.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Agree. Yeah, and to one of your points, Myron, you talked about how we're not seeing people as human beings and failing to see someone as a human, and I think that's another product of social media. It's some avatar behind a keyboard. It's an avatar on a screen, and it's not a person to you. And like, I think that it's very easy to get there, to say, you don't see them as like another person. And so I think that definitely plays a factor as well. I mean, as a teacher, but also a social media user, I think it's insidious. It really is insidious, and it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm not at the point where I'm like ban social media, because I don't want to do that. But man, like if you got little ones, like keep them away from it as long as you can. We tried, and it was really hard, but it's a terrible thing in my opinion.
Just to kind of, because I know we're going to be getting into this, the two specific things that kind of stood out to me the most was, of course, the Pam Bondi thing, which I know we're going to talk about here in a second. And then on the other side, if we're saying there's even sides, but on the other side was the pushing forward of, gun control narratives. And both felt like bad timing. Like we can have these discussions, but don't use a man's death to do it.
Right.
Like that, and there was a lot of both of that going. And I know there was a lot of pushback against Pam Bondi, but still, I guess what it is for me is at least it gives you some insight as to what our government is possibly thinking. Maybe this was like a test. Like, let's see if what they'll do with this.
Right.
And it was pretty much universally shot down, which is good. But I mean, still, You know, it's like warning shots.
Right. So let's kind of go through any. Oh, hold on. Marianne is going to put on a microphone.
Marianne, welcome.
Cheers, girl. Good to see you.
Hold on.
You got to hold it down.
Okay.
There.
Also, cheers, great chat. Good to see you as well, buddy.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Good.
Hey,
Great.
glad to see you on tonight.
Nice to see you too.
What's wrong?
Oh, just we're going through it right now.
Mm.
Not really.
No, but
Did you talk to our daughter more? Oh, okay.
no, I talked to my aunt.
Oh, okay. All right.
So where are we at here?
Everybody just gave their like kind of thoughts on Charlie Kirk before we get into the bigger issues around it.
Okay, like Charlie Kirk, the person.
Yeah, like him being assassinated. Like your thoughts on him.
Oh well,
and,
I don't ever. I'm not. Political violence of any kind is not okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all kind of said
Yeah.
that. Did you have anything to say about him, or you want to pass?
I think I'll pass.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So I wanted to kind of take these things kind of in order of how they happened, right? So the first thing, and I know Pam Bondi kind of early on was talking about free speech, but let's come back to that. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the idea of cancel culture, because there were some things that happened in the immediate aftermath that I thought were pretty icky, and they really were coming from both sides. So obviously you had
grotesque is a word I would use. Yeah.
yes,
What did he say?
grotesque.
Oh, okay.
You had the perpetually online TikTokers and what have you that were celebrating. Okay, and you can. I'm not suggesting anybody here is going to say that wasn't happening, but there are people who are saying, "Oh, there's nobody celebrating," and that's because your algorithm is showing you something different.
That's right.
There definitely were people out there celebrating, making TikToks, laughing, dancing, mocking. It was happening. Okay. And I'm not here to like whatever. They'll have to answer to somebody someday. But so that for me was gross, right? But the other half of that was the people who didn't like that. Like, I'm somebody who didn't like it. I didn't get in people's comments and write about it. We talked about it. I might have had a conversation with a friend here and there about it, but I wasn't going in people's comments and admonishing them, and I certainly wasn't reporting people.
Excuse
And
me.
what bothered me,
Cheers, Richie.
and this is what I want to get your thoughts on.
Hi, Richie.
What bothered me was this wave of people who were like, here's where the person lives, here's where they work, here's where their husbands work, they have this many kids, they live in this town. Like, that was over the top for me, and I'm not about that. Like, if a company sees it and wants to fire somebody, fine, but to basically dox somebody and flood their employer with phone calls, complaints, to flood their business website. The one girl on TikTok, her name is Megan Farina, her husband's website, he's an electrician out in California. They had to like shut down their site. Their reviews got bombed. Like, and fine, whatever. She did an abhorrent thing, but like, that's just overkill to me. And then what really put it over the top for me for kind of being like, this is not right, was JD Vance going on TV and saying, go report these people, go to their employers. Like,
You made the point I was going to make.
that's the vice president of the United States now telling people to basically go
Perpetuating it.
dox people.
Yeah.
And I'm not about that. So I guess I just want, kind of based on what I laid out there, kind of what are your thoughts on all that? Because I was not a fan of that. I was not a fan of the celebrating and the grotesque things happening on TikTok and social media. And I was not a fan of the backlash against it and the basic doxing of people because of it.
I'm going to go first. You know why?
Why?
Okay, you guys, everybody in the chat, everybody on the panel, hold on to the seat of your pants. I agree with everything you just said.
Write it down.
Hey, wait, you got one.
You got it on video.
Yeah, you got one, Brian. There's witnesses.
We're playing. That's going to get cut into a short. It's going on all our channels, people.
Brian, you need to go to Vegas right now. You've got great luck.
I know.
That's right.
Get on the plane.
Brian
odds
was
are in
great.
my
Once
favor.
it
How
applied.
could that was logical.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Very.
was honest, and there anybody who disagrees with what you just said, this would be one of those times where I would strongly express my
Yeah.
opinion and tell somebody how wrong I truly think they are.
Do you want to add anything to it?
No, the point I was going to make really was JD Vance.
Yeah.
Because of the position he holds in this country and the responsibility he has in that role, telling people to call people's places of work and get them fired, it is just so deplorable. I can't condone it. I can't get behind it. I do not agree with people celebrating anybody's death, especially in the manner in which Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Again, I did not agree philosophically with a lot of the things that
I
Charlie
would like
Kirk
to ask
said.
a question to the
Pardon?
group. I'd like to ask a question to the group and the panel.
Okay.
While we're kind of on the topic, because
Okay.
I agree that I don't think the vice president should be doing it, but do we believe there should be any consequences for those kind of acts?
Absolutely. Yes. And then Great Shot said here. Great Shot said, if you want to put your stupidity out there, just beware of the consequences. And 100%. Like I always say, like my people are always like, well, hate speech this and misinformation that or whatever. And I'm like, look, people can say whatever they want, but once they put it out there in public, you know who they are. Right. And so, yes, there is a consequence, whether that's a social consequence or a consequence from your employer. I think the part for me that kind of puts it over the top is, and I can't say this was happening en masse, but there were people who were like, hey, TikTok, here's their house. They live in so-and-so California.
No,
This is her husband's business.
Not
It's
okay.
at this address.
Nope.
You should go see him. And like
No.
that kind of stuff.
Especially
It only takes one
crazy,
lunatic
one crazy.
to be like, oh, I'm going to go effing visit that guy and I'm going to bring my gun with me. Like that to me is a little bit over the top.
It's scary. It's honestly, that's scary business. We've said enough. Go to somebody else.
Yeah. Let's go, Rick. What do you have? What about all this?
I'd rather go last, but that's okay. I'll go first.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to you.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind keying it off.
Okay.
I'm really stuck because I feel like, free speech is, obviously it's First Amendment. It's the foundation of the Constitution. If we lose that, everything else begins to crumble, right? It's the identifying factor for the United States of America. So you put a pin in that and come back to it. I also believe strongly that it's upheld by the Second Amendment, but we'll get into that talk show another day. But I believe that people have to be responsible for what they do and say. I completely agree with you, Brian, that there shouldn't be a cancel culture. People shouldn't maliciously go out and target people, show people's homes, write their, the president of the company where they work. That's ridiculous. That's the opposite of what Charlie stood for, which was respectful debate, right? I mean, I actually think that he modeled respectful debate, regardless of what you think about his positions, very well. So you take that and you look at, it's reactionary and it's not healthy. So the other thing is there are a lot of people, JD Vance included. I am a fan overall of JD. I don't agree with everything he does, but I was not a fan of what he did. And I thought that was in poor taste. I also recognize that he was friends with Charlie. I recognize that he had a personal relationship, and I realized that all humans are fallible. And he was probably leaning on emotion and platform more than common sense. And I think maybe 6 months from now or 6 years from now, he may look back and say, I'd like to have a mulligan on that. I'd probably handle that a little differently. I make mistakes every day. I learn from them. I completely agree, though, with your take on Vance. Yeah. But I do believe that this is going to be interesting. I think in the coming weeks and months, character is being identified with people's reaction to this tragedy. I mean, I see it. We're not talking about right and left. I see it on both sides of the aisle. I see it with people in work. I see it with people, at church. I see it with, neighbors. And it's unfortunate because now we've got clarity on people's character on, if you're celebrating anybody's death, I don't care who it is. I mean, Myron said it best. No one deserves to die over their religious beliefs, over their political beliefs. And that's not exactly what Myron said, but it's ridiculous. It's a tragic loss. So I'm trying not to rabbit hole this, but I believe that it is unfortunate, but we have to allow people to express their grotesque, as Sean said, opinions.
Yes.
But if a company chooses to fire them, then those are the cards that you played with, and those are the ones that were dealt, and you have to reap the consequences for that. And I also think, to whom much is given in responsibility or influence, much is expected in return. So I'll take that from JD Vance over to Jimmy Kimmel. And you look at someone that has the reach and influence of Jimmy Kimmel, very clear on his positions. No one ever questions his positions on candidates, agree or disagree. And now, again, it's going to get swept under the rug. He's being brought back, but the backlash of him being suspended for saying what he said, I thought what he said was grotesque. And it was the company's decision, because he works for a private employer. It was the employer's decision to make that corrective action and put him on temporary suspension. So I was, at first, I'm like, wait a minute, you can't stifle someone like that. And then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, he's a private employee. If they don't agree with what he did, they certainly can. So there's two different things. You should be free to speak your mind and your heart and your opinions and try to influence others, whether it's grotesque or whether it's constructive. But you should also be prepared for consequences depending on the vehicle you use and how many people you reach and how you go about doing that. I think that's the kind of the common sense behind it, and that's where I'll put a pin in it.
Okay,
absolutely.
And I think we'll come back to the Jimmy Kimmel thing when we talk about free speech, because I there is a few points there that I think are important to make. Myron, cancel culture. Where are you on this kind of the cancel culture that emerged after Charlie Kirk?
So I don't like cancel culture in general, whether it happens on the left or the right. I would rather for you to tell me who you are versus you hiding your feelings and doing it behind my back. I am more so of a free speech absolutist. If you want to say the most vile, grotesque things, then you can say them, but just be prepared for the consequences. If you are a CEO who represents a company and that company decides to fire you over your comments, then hey, let them do so. But I don't want to see the government step in and say you need to fire this person, or to put pressure on the company and say you need to fire this person. I feel like the First Amendment is very powerful, and that is what makes us who we are as American citizens. I don't need anyone stepping in to say this person should be canceled. Say whatever the hell you want, because that gives me a better picture of the person that you are. That, like I said, I need to know who you are. Don't fake it for me. Say who you are. And I would never.
I completely agree with Myron.
Yes, absolutely. 100%, Myron.
I would never ever celebrate the death of anyone, not even my enemy. So I don't want anyone to think that I am agreeing with these people. When I say free speech absolutist, like I said, say what you want to say. That tells me who you are. That tells me your feelings. Just like how you said, Rick. Be prepared for the consequences, like Mr. Great Shot said. But in the same sense, I don't feel like we need to cancel anyone. But I don't necessarily have to agree with you either. So that's the beauty of free speech. You can say what you want to say. I just don't have to agree with you. And if you represent a bigger corporation, then let that corporation do what they need to do. But I just don't need the government coming in and leaning on someone and making them do something that that I don't disagree with.
And I'll just add a point to this: if you are the government and you are a side of the aisle that believes in the free market and capitalism and all that stuff, and you also profess to believe in free speech, then he should be able to say whatever the hell he wants. And if people don't like it, they're going to vote with their views. They're watching your show. The ratings are going to bear that out, and you've got to let that happen. I'm getting into like our next topic, but what were you going to say? Sorry.
Did Sean go yet?
No,
let Sean go.
Okay.
So
go ahead, Sean.
I think that what we've done a very bad job of over the last couple of weeks is really muddying the waters between consequences from your employer and what the Constitution is. These are two vastly different things.
Yes.
One thing is a consequence that your employer is handing down, which is completely within their rights. That's their rights
Correct.
to decide that they do not want you as an employee any longer. And the other is protecting you from the government, which is much worse. That's the thing that we got to keep an eye on, folks. Whether Jimmy Kimmel gets fired or not doesn't really mean anything for our country. Let's be honest. But if the government starts stepping in and saying you can't say things, then we have a real problem. I don't know what Brian's pointing at, but
I'm pointing at you because I'm agreeing with you.
oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. So and what was really frustrating for me as well over the last week, really, the Jimmy Kimmel thing, is people like conflating it with the Charlie Kirk situation. Like, these are not equal. Don't try and make them equal, because they're not. One man can no longer have a job at all. So don't make these things equal, because they're not equal. And also, it's completely within Disney, ABC's right to decide that they no longer want you as an employee for whatever the reason. Now, that said, and I know we're not quite to the Jimmy Kimmel thing yet, if I find out that the Trump administration was involved in this, I will be super pissed. I'm just going to say it right now, because if it turns into the Google thing, which we're also going to talk about later, I'm going to be just as upset. So,
and that's why I was like, I want to get into that when we talk about free speech, because that's definitely I definitely am kind of with you on that, Sean. What were you going to say, Maria?
Okay, so I wrote down all my thoughts here because there were so many things that I was thinking about as you guys were talking. So I'm thinking of it from a place of if I'm a consumer, right, and somebody says something on social media that I don't agree with, they have a right to say whatever the hell they want to say, and as a consumer, I have a right then to not patronize their business or whatever it is that they are marketing, whatever the case may be. So the consequence to their free speech might be that they're going to lose a couple of customers or viewers or whatever the case may be. You have a right to say whatever it is, but there are consequences, and my right is that I don't have to patronize your business or buy into whatever it is that you are discussing. Now, from a teacher perspective, I'm going to tell you that teachers happen to be held in a very high standard, and we have to be extraordinarily careful about the things that we post on social media. Sure. You are all friends with me on Facebook. You will notice I don't really post anything political on my Facebook page. It's primarily about my family and like running or funny things that happen, things like that. I don't really even talk about Bourbon School on my Facebook page because we have to be very careful. And there is a line that comes into question with being a teacher and things like this. But so
I think social media is another thing social media has done. It has made it so people feel like they can say whatever they want. It's a forum that employers didn't have to worry about in the past.
Correct.
And now it's this thing
keyboard warriors of the world.
Right.
They're very comfortable behind their keyboard to say whatever the hell they want, but they will not say it to your face.
Well, and I will also say to your point, like, as a consumer, you can also lodge a complaint with the company and be like, hey, this person is employed by you and they said this online. And that is a little different than taking that next step to like doxing them. And that's kind of where I'm in disagreement.
I mean, and that's parents, if parents see teachers,
they're going to call
the school.
Yep.
They're going to call the superintendent. It's so you have to toe the line. You have to just be very careful and cautious about what you're doing. Yeah. But anyway, with regard to cancel culture, do whatever the hell you want on social media.
Yep.
And I will act accordingly to how I feel about your actions.
Well, and one thing we tell our students, and I know they tell college kids, and this is kind of a message that like the internet's forever. So like also understand that even without somebody reporting you or doing like doxing you or something, employers go back and look at your social media.
You have to assume the minute you put it out, somebody screenshot it and somebody is sending it somewhere else.
And they talk about how employers go back and people haven't gotten hired because of things they've had on social media, even 10 years before they're sitting in front of that potential hire.
Yep.
They're like, sorry,
I have
because you
the-
have this on your social
I
media.
sent okay, so I'm the president of my union at my school, and I send a leadership update every Sunday to my members. I even have to really consider what I'm writing in case there's people I don't want.
And it gets shared.
Yeah, it gets shared. I have to presume that my words are going to get shared. Like no matter what I say, what I do, that I'm writing with intent.
So real quick, before we go further, before we kind of move, we've had a ton of really good comments. So
Okay.
I want to hit those real quick.
Can you
from
tell me
the
what I'm
chat.
drinking? It's delicious.
That's the Penelope creme brulee.
Oh, no wonder it's so good.
Oh, I haven't cracked that yet. That's good.
It's freaking
yeah,
delicious.
we have a backup of it because it's really, really freaking good.
Nice.
Absolutely. Stymie thirdly, celebration goes directly to the inhumane mindset Myron mentioned previously. Yeah, I mean, really, you don't see this person as a person, and definitely great shot. If you want to put your stupidity out there, just be aware of the consequences. Absolutely. Bourbon Bounty had a lot of good points we'll go through. Professionalism, decorum, etc. We need our leaders, no matter who they are, to be clear-headed.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And if anybody wants to chime in on this, please do.
Yeah, if I could, real quick before we go farther, because I know we're not going to talk about this later. Another thing that, because we've talked a lot about the TikTokers and the Instagrammers and all that, and all the grotesque stuff they were saying, but a one Elon Musk happened to be on a live stream and basically said that the left is the side of murder. That's equally as bad. We can't be doing that either. So, and I understand his premise, although very shallow, what he was trying to say, but you can't just call out 50% of the population and say they're about murder. That we cannot be doing that.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
I agree with you, Sean. I was going to say the same thing, is that what we do is we judge, because I think everybody on this panel, I don't think any of us are super far right, and I don't think any of us are super far left.
I'm a moderate.
Most of us are pretty much either just left of center or just right of center.
That's correct.
So most of us share the same views for the most point, but the media makes us look at the other side. They put a dividing line down the middle, and then they make us judge the other side, no matter how close you are to the center, by the most far.
The most radical.
Or the right. Yeah.
They use the word radical all the time intentionally in the news. It's an intentional usage of that word.
And Myron, to your point, that's what we saw over the last 2 weeks, is what our media fed us is both extremes. If you're watching a more left-leaning media, they're feeding you the most extreme right-wing stuff. If you're watching more right-wing media, they're sending you the most left-wing stuff. And so then you end up hating your neighbor, and your neighbor doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
And so, it's complete. It's a fabrication. What they're feeding you is a lie.
It has made people afraid to talk to each other in a civil way anymore, because if you lean one way or the other, it has taken away any civility in conversation.
But I agree with that, and I think you mentioned something. I don't know if it was Sean or Myron, but you guys mentioned algorithm earlier. And I don't know who it was, but the idea is that unfortunately we get a lot of our information online, and depending on how your algorithm is wired, you're going to get things that click with more of your your native views, but you're not going to get a diverse group of you're not going to get like a good mixture of information. So it's going to continue to feed your natural inclinations in terms of your perspectives and so forth. So like back in the 80s, when I was a kid, I was born in 75. But when I was a kid, ABC, CBS, NBC, if you changed the channel, it was the same message. And if you went to any,
it was just actual news then.
They actually
That's
reported
Sean.
the news.
Yes.
But now it's curated on both sides. And so the struggle for people to get information is tough. And that's another reason that I hate that, unfortunately, again, agree or disagree with his points of view. The manner in which he debated and tried to influence others to consider other thoughts, that's a huge loss for the country.
Yeah, we definitely need more of that.
Yes,
we do. And maybe we can model it here. I don't, who knows?
For sure. On the algorithm thing, because to Rick's point, I mean, these are very sophisticated programs. The way I try and combat that is when anything comes in my feed that I don't necessarily agree with it, I watch it anyway to throw my algorithm off.
Okay.
And the reason for that, I may not agree with whoever this person's take is, but then the algorithm doesn't know which side I'm on, so it just feeds me both things. So
I'm gonna puke up my bourbon. I just read Stymie's comment. I almost spit it out. That's fantastic.
But yeah, if you only click on the things you agree with, that's all you're ever going to get.
Yep, absolutely. This is an important point is we're moving into free speech now. I feel like a lot of people make this mistake and think that free speech means your employer can't fire you. The First Amendment is there to protect us from the government, guys. It is not there to protect you from your private employer. It is not there so you can say anything you want on social media without consequence. It is there to protect the whole point of the Bill of Rights is these are the things that the government has to respect, and these are the things the government cannot violate. And I think that's something that people are not really in tune with. But let me get caught up here. We've got a lot of chat.
You know, not going to talk about tonight, but fun rabbit hole to go down is research what the consequences are of a government official breaking the Constitution. Short answer is there's not a whole lot of consequence. There should probably be stronger consequences.
They do it all. I mean, if you think about how much power the president has accumulated over 250 years.
And all the executive orders and all the
right. I mean, there's so much the president does now that was never intended, and they are things that they are powers that the presidents of the past have just taken. And I tell my kids this when we learn about this, when we do the Constitution and stuff, and I tell them, like, if nobody challenges them, then it just becomes like it's just something they can do now. Like, if it doesn't go to the Supreme Court or nobody passes a law that says, hey, you can't do that. If the president does something and everybody just kind of lets it happen, suddenly now that's a new power the president has.
Yeah.
Because once it's done a couple times, they can just say, well, past precedent is this. And it's like, you're screwed.
Well, so, while we're on the topic of left-right, I know for whatever reason, the Constitution has become a more right-leaning topic. I don't really know why that is, because it protects all of us.
Right.
But I mean, if there's anything that us as Americans should protect, it's that piece of paper.
Yep.
It's the most important piece of paper ever written. I mean, because here's the thing: if you don't protect that, like be an absolutist on the Constitution, and you get Hitler's Germany, you get the guy in Italy,
Mao's China,
Mao's China. Like this is where you when you start taking away people's rights, this is where you end up. Like that's where it always ends. So. Like, it's so important that as Americans, we say, no, you cannot take these rights. I don't care if you're left or right, doesn't matter. You have to be an absolutist on this. You cannot give the government more power. Yeah. It's the most important thing that we do as citizens is defend that piece of paper.
You have to be impressed with the foresight the founding fathers had when they wrote that document, for real. I mean,
because they were oppressed by a tyrannical government. They knew what it was.
Well, and I think, Sean, the where you get left and right splitting in the Constitution is, I think the right fancies itself as more of like what it says is what it is. And the left, I think, over the years has become more of like, well, it's open to interpretation, or it really means this, or maybe it means this. And I mean, I think there's room for both of those interpretations. I think that's where the split has really become, like literal Constitution interpretation, or like, can we kind of interpret it that they might have meant this, or like this applies because this situation didn't exist back then. So now we have to kind of fit the Constitution to this new situation or something.
But I mean, for me, Brian, and I really hope that most of America gets here soon, because we need you to. Just look back at history. Look back what happened when people took away the rights of their citizens. It's never gone well. Not a single fucking time. Ever. I mean, study anywhere where the government took away the citizens' rights. It's never gone good.
And it always started with disarming the citizens. Every single time. That is Germany, in Italy, in China. Every single time.
I mean, it's always the first two things. They censor your speech and they make you helpless. Don't let your government do that.
Yep.
Definitely. Rich C, need to teach the kids how to learn, not what to think. Absolutely.
Yeah,
and this is
that's a statement that really drives me crazy, is that teachers are indoctrinating their students. Like it is so not what is happening in the classroom. And I
well,
think,
not in our classrooms.
correct.
I'm not in anybody else's classroom.
Maybe not
in
in elementary and high school level.
I'm standing up for our profession,
Okay.
and I'm going to say that I do not believe teachers are doing such a thing, and I
Okay.
think that's really
I
a
disagree.
danger. It's a dangerous statement to make.
I was going to ask how you
going on in the
guys felt.
classroom.
I was going to ask how you guys felt being
Yeah.
teachers, because that is one statement that is constantly pushed. And I don't necessarily, because we've all come through high school, right? So
Yeah.
I went through high school. You guys went through high school. I cannot tell you. Now, I will say this. I know one teacher who I would assume is probably on the right. He never pushed his views. But I can never tell you how many teachers were on the left, because they never pushed their views either. Now, the only reason why I feel like this guy was on the right is because of certain things he said and certain comments he made, but he never taught the class as though it needed to be right-leaning. And the majority of the teachers and that was only because he taught government, but the majority of the teachers not even the majority, everyone except him, that I came up learning under through high school, never displayed their political leanings.
Affiliation.
Never, ever.
Mhm.
They taught us the curriculum that was supposed to be taught by the state or the county, and that was it.
Sorry, I'm looking at Ben's comment.
Yeah, Ben says the only thing worse than the government is the airlines. I've been on with customer service for 3 hours.
Ben.
Jesus, Ben.
Oh no.
Hey,
This drive.
I would
can't
like
drive
to
alone.
talk about briefly. I know we got a lot to talk about still, but I would like to talk about John Cran's comment that you had highlighted there for a while.
Yes, okay, so Sean, I was definitely gonna comment on this, so let me just jump in, and then you can say what you want to say. John, I agree with you. I don't know, Sean, if you're gonna agree or not, but it really, really makes me cringe when politicians start getting very religious-y. That's all.
Yes.
That's all I'll say. Go ahead, Sean.
We had a discussion about this last night.
Yep.
Well, so
Charlie
I
Kirk.
mean, this was my issue with the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Like
Okay.
these two things should never mix. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, and this is, and I want to be really clear about what I'm saying right here, because I think that Charlie Kirk, for the most part, was trying to do positive things. One of the major points that I disagreed with him on was he was pushing for
Thank you.
less separation of church and state, which I am completely opposed to. And the reason, I'm not going to get into the whys. Myron disappeared.
Audio only. He's still here.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to get into the depths of it, but I mean, personally, well, I'll say it this way. I don't think that either side is fundamentally Christian in reality. I think this is a absolute falsehood. So I don't want either side claiming that, because I think that most of them are evil. So don't claim Christianity just because your base likes it. I'd rather you just not talk about it.
Are you talking about the politicians or people in general?
Politicians.
Politicians.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of that going on at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
I mean, I think I got to be honest. I mean, I'll leave my comments out on that because I got to think about it a little bit. But I mean, when Erica spoke about forgiving the murderer, I mean, I had chills on my arms, because a woman just lost her husband and the father of her children, and she was talking about how her faith impacts her ability to forgive another person. And I think if that doesn't set a positive example for the entire country, regardless of what your faith is, I don't know what does.
Yeah, she's not a politician though, and
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you could be Jewish, you could be Muslim. That's a positive.
Yeah,
that's a
forgiveness.
positive
Absolutely.
example yes.
And Stymie said, to play devil's advocate, I get nervous when a party intentionally removes God from their platform. And I can agree with that too, because I guess I will say I don't need a party to have religion as part of their platform. I do like to know that the politicians have some sort of moral compass. And if that's informed by their religion, then great. But when you start saying, I'm going to use this to do this. Like God wants me to be president so I can get rid of abortion or something.
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
my personal take, Brian, is that it's a lot of show and happenstance most of the time. Let's be real.
Yeah.
A lot of these people that are claiming to be Christians, if we're keeping up with their lives, no, they're not. And
Yes.
I'm saying this as a person that's not doing a great job of being a Christian. But I mean, we know what and this has nothing to do with the belief systems. But my thing is, if you're going to claim to be a thing, then you should represent that to the best of your ability. If you're not doing that, don't claim it. That's all I'm saying.
That's a great point.
And this has nothing to do with whether you think Christianity is right or not. It's just that you're making a false claim. That's my issue.
Right.
So don't claim it just because it puts you in good graces with your base or whatever.
Right.
That is also gross to me.
And
Yeah,
bounty.
but if someone was
primary.
authentically passionate about their faith and
Yeah,
came to
absolutely.
a political position and brought that with them, I would respect that. But conversely, to your point, if they leaned into it because they thought it would be a leverage point, then that's disgusting.
Which,
Someone-
if I'm being completely clear, I think that's what our president does. I'll
Trump
just say
did.
it.
Thank
Just say
you.
it out loud.
Thank you. Like I'm whispering it because I'm saying Trump 100% did that. Did you hear his comments about the Bible?
Yeah.
I love the
Well,
Bible. It's the best book in the world.
The best.
I don't-
What part of the Bible do you like? Oh, I don't know. The Old Testament and the New Testament. Like it was so
Well,
so
that's
contrived. It was
that's my whole point, Marianne, is that there's so many bad actors out there that are
Yeah.
playing a role, and
he was a reality TV star.
and that's, I mean, I just hope that more people just see them for what they are. That's all. Like, do not let these be your religious leaders, because they're
Don't
not.
put your faith in any of it.
Yeah.
I found the older I get, I don't have time for hate. I just don't have time for them. Yeah, correct. I like, and that's kind of like, especially this week, or these past 2 weeks, I spent the first half of these 2 weeks getting real pissed. And then this week being like, fuck this. I can't even get torn by these two sides anymore. It's just, it's exhausting. It's
So-
exhausting.
It takes too much effort.
And you know what, Brian? I think, as much as I hate to frame it this way, I think in a very strange way, Charlie Kirk's assassination has woken up a lot of people.
I
and they're
agree.
starting to see that both sides are playing us.
Yes.
So if any
Agreed.
positive has come from this, it's that.
Good thing.
So, and it's sad, and I hope that more information comes out as to how things actually happened. And very unfortunate that, I mean, he was only 31. I mean, he was a young man still.
Yes.
With two young children.
So yeah, with two, I mean, new father, very unfortunate. But
Yep.
if it wakes up a country that's been sleeping for a while,
Yep.
then maybe there's some positive that comes from this.
Sean, have you been
are you-
watching or listening to Candace? What's her last name?
Candace Owens.
Oh,
Owens.
I watch her live streams every day since he was born.
Candace.
She's
She has been an absolute Valkyrie. She is relentless.
yeah. And
Sean
I'm
said a nation.
and I'm no Candace Owens fan. Please do not misunderstand. But there are some interesting. No, I want this pen.
Okay.
There are some interesting points that she's putting out there.
Yep.
Questions are not proof. That's what I'll say about
No,
Candace Owens.
But
That's all.
Listen,
Um,
but questions are questions.
Sure.
And they deserve answers.
did we land on the moon?
Yes.
How do you know?
They
But there was a shadow going one way. Now,
Oh,
see how
get outta
stupid you
here.
can get with
We're
this?
getting, we're
Anyway,
getting sidetracked.
All right,
folks.
let's not get off topic.
So,
let's not get off
let's-
topic.
Myron has limited time as well, so we need to.
let's get into the bigger issue, which is free speech. Because honestly, cancel culture,
Myron is so glad I finally
I-
got here.
ideally, cancel culture is not really going to affect us. Because I think most of us are pretty savvy about what we do, or don't really have to worry about what we say online, because we might not have jobs that really bear consequences, or like I said, more importantly, we're all pretty smart about
Smart
what
enough.
we put out there.
Yep.
But the free speech issue is one that has really bothered me, because there are so many people invoking free speech incorrectly.
Yes.
Okay. Like these people who get canceled on TikTok. Well, I thought we had free speech. Well, you do, but like the government's not calling TikTok and saying shut down that account
Just the people
or
are.
fire that person. The people are doing that. And if you might think it's distasteful to go as far as some people have. Like I happen to think it's distasteful to flood employers with calls and all that stuff, but that's not a free speech issue. I'm sorry, it's not. If your company decides you're giving them a bad name and we're going to part ways, they have every right to do that.
Don't say I'm sorry. Own your words.
Where it gets muddy is the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Because I think, and I do not like Jimmy Kimmel. I think he's a hack. I think he's a hypocrite, because this is a guy that did like extremely crude things.
The Man
towards
Show.
Women on the Man Show. He did blackface, dressed as Karl Malone,
Oh.
and all that is supposed to be forgiven because now all of a sudden he hates Donald Trump.
And it should be noted, his portrayal of Karl Malone is like a dumb Southern black man. He's not just playing a black man. If you watch that, it's pretty freaking cringy. Like it's
I didn't know
right.
that.
It's
I've never seen it.
Me neither,
I've never
Myron.
seen it.
it
Myron,
is.
I'm not here to be offended for you, but if I was
Oh,
a
God.
black
Myron,
person,
you
I'd
if you
probably be
watched it,
offended.
Is that bad?
if you watched it, you would probably have a very different view of Jimmy Kimmel. I'm
like,
just-
especially because like imagine somebody doing it today.
oh, he'd be canceled within
Yeah.
like the.
No, he
He'd probably
can't
be
do that.
taken off the air live.
Yeah.
But and
They
so
flip right over to Family Feud.
so Joe's here, Joe, and that's kind of the
Oh,
point
you're
I'm
yelling.
getting to.
You're
Joe says there was nothing muddy about Kimmel. The government pressured affiliates to shut his show down, and that's the
FCC.
thing where
Do we have proof of that?
if you've
I-
got
Yes.
okay,
We
so
have.
Yeah.
I have comment.
hold on, Rick.
I've heard Trump make comments that it's a disgrace that they put him back on
Right.
the air, and he's going. He's
Right.
going to go after it some more.
Let me
That-
finish
that's a different thing, though.
Let me finish my
That
point.
he's the guy. He's the president.
So, Joe, I agree. That is where I have an issue. And that's where it becomes a free speech issue. As much as you hate Jimmy Kimmel and you might hate what he says, it can definitely be a free speech issue if the government does that. Now, do we have proof of that? No. But
Well, actually,
here's
that's
what
not true. We
here's
do
what
have
we
it.
do have. We
Yeah.
have Brendan Carr going on TV,
He is
the
the head of the
chairman of the
FCC.
FCC, an agent of the government, saying,
Yeah.
well, if I were ABC, I'd do something about that before we have to do something about it. And I'm sorry, you cannot pretend that's not the government exerting some indirect pressure on this situation.
Yes.
Okay,
Here's
that's fair.
the other thing I will say.
Well, can I bring up 2
People-
points? Well, no, after you, Brian.
Yeah, and this is my last point. Then we'll go around the horn. My last point on this is that if you want to use Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled for a week as proof that Trump is a fascist who's pissing on the Constitution, he's the worst fascist dictator we've ever had or ever seen
He's not
because
great
they kept Jimmy Kimmel off the air for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So I really do think my take on the situation is yes, the FCC chair came out and kind of threw out a signal.
Yeah.
But I think also, I think this is pretty, you can look at the numbers and the data and say, Disney probably saw this as an opportunity to take a show that was shit in the bed and saying, hey, can we unload this contract and not put this show on anymore because it is tanking.
Yeah.
Did the FCC help them along with it? Absolutely. Did the FCC help these affiliates who are not showing him right now to make that decision to not carry his show? I think absolutely. And I think that's where, and Joe, I'm sorry, I know you said it's not muddy at all. I think it is muddy, but I think the fact that it is muddy makes it an issue because you don't want the government really putting their thumb in the scale at all. So that's my take. Myron, you were ready to jump in. What do you got?
So 2 points that I have to make, and I'll save my because one is just a question. But the first point that I have to make is you can't have someone who heads a government agency say, well, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way, and brags about it. And then it's not only the people on the left, like Sean said earlier, you've had the people on the left and the right stand up for the First Amendment, because anytime you have a person who I find despicable like Ted Cruz, anytime you have him sit up there and say this was wrong, and he talks about, hey, this came off like a mafioso boss, or Ben Shapiro, or Candace Owens, because when the shoe is on the other foot,
That's right.
and you have a radical, as Trump would say, you have a radical left-wing lunatic in office, and they do something like this, it's not going to feel great. It's not. So we need to leave government out of that equation. And my second part the second question, well, what I have is a question, which is the second part of what I was talking about, is just asking Rick and everyone else, what did he say that was so abhorrent? What did Jimmy Kimmel say that it was so abhorrent?
So the government, the FCC's position was, we have the right to regulate broadcast TV, and if they're out there using our airwaves to spread falsehoods, we can do something about that. What Jimmy Kimmel said was, and it really, I believe, was a setup for a joke more than anything, but it did not come out that way, and this is well after we knew the leanings of the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. And he said, the MAGA crowd is out there trying to do anything they can to prove that the assassin's not one of their guys, even though he is. So it was blatantly false.
But was it abhorrent? Because that's what I
yes,
hear.
seriously.
You can go on
and
TV and say some false shit.
Is that what he said?
Yes, that's it.
That was the statement?
Yes.
That was
Well,
it.
I mean,
The whole
so
statement?
I'm paraphrasing, but that was the gist of it. If somebody in the chat, if you have the opportunity to go like copy and paste it and throw it in the chat so we can have the exact wording, that would be helpful. But that was kind of the gist of it. Yeah, Myron.
Yeah, the lead in. So the lead in. No, that's why I asked the question. It was more of a rhetorical question because I know exactly what he said. The lead in was what he said about, we know it was someone that was MAGA, basically, paraphrasing. Right. Which at that time we knew that his folks were Republican. Okay. We knew that he disagreed with his folks. Okay. It had just come out that he was living with a person who was transgender. Okay.
Yep. So
both sides were trying to push it as, he's not my guy. He's not my guy.
Exactly.
Jimmy Kimmel came out and said, we knew he was, well, paraphrasing, we knew he was MAGA. That was bad to say. That was bad to say. Was it abhorrent? Was it disgusting? No, because what he led into was our president being asked about his friend dying, and then that his comment being, yeah, I think I'm doing good, but hey, had you seen the new ballroom? Did you see all the trucks over there for the new ballroom?
How weird
that was the lead-in.
Yep.
Which even people like Rogan said, I thought that shit was funny because it was. He said that that is how a fourth grader mourns his pet something. Yeah. Which you could have left the word pet out of it, but I understood where he was going with the joke. But the fact that he tried to put it on MAGA, was it wrong? Yes. Yeah. Just like a lot of people when it first came out, including our president, and I shouldn't put quotations behind that, but including our president, the first thing he said was left leaning. These were left leaning lunatics or left wing lunatics.
I'm on the Associated Press, right? Like that's a pretty, like, people will agree that's, and he said he threatens to target radical left after Kirk killing raises fears he's trying to silence foes. Like, I mean, he was very fast to pronounce that it was the radical. That word again, the radical left.
But like, to my point, like both sides were like, it wasn't one of us.
Well, nobody.
Wasn't one of us.
You mean this caused the shooting, Maria?
The shooting. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up. So shortly after that, I saw multiple videos. And one guy, and this is what scared me because I have a son who drives and I have a son who is about to start driving. This was a guy who was a cop on TikTok, and you could clearly see he had a K9 unit. And the first thing he said was, well, I don't want to say the first thing he said, but some of the things that he mentioned were these motherfuckers and talking about people on the left, and they want to take us out. And if they want to start a civil war, they've opened a can of worms that they wish they'd never touched. And I was like, why are you saying they? And even at Charlie Kirk's funeral, they kept saying they. The Turning Points Memorial, they kept saying they. We know it was one fucking lone shooter, and they kept saying they. Everybody kept saying they. Even when you listen to
And if I don't want to stop your thought here, Myron, but I want to pinpoint that the possible they is actually the government. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the possible they in me and your mind, but to the masses
yeah, you're right. I know what you mean. Yeah.
who don't believe in, this mass conspiracy is
Yeah.
thinking they the other side,
That's
the
right.
left.
Yes.
And this is
You know
where
what I mean?
civility, where we lose civility and where we become to have discourse,
Well-
because both sides are guilty of this, but it's always
Yes.
pinpointing, finger pointing, and making the other side the absolute evil devil.
Come on,
I'm
John.
gonna drink this terrible shit here in front of
I was in the middle of making a
Sorry.
very good
He
point.
poured Wild Turkey 101. It's the most egregious thing we've talked about tonight.
But Myron, to your point, because we talked about this earlier in the stream, and I mean, we really, like, as a nation, we got to do a lot better at, like, this whole they or them, and this side, that side. We got to stop doing that. Like this.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, if anything comes out of this, I hope that more people realize that, like, this whole. I mean, and this is a good friend of mine. I consider him a friend. We talk a lot. If you watch other streams, you may have seen him on streams. I'm not going to call him out, but he threw something up on Facebook that was pointing out how Trump is potentially on the Epstein list, whatever. He might be.
Mhm.
Here's my issue with that kind of thing. Sure, he might be on the list. So are like 200 other people that we're ignoring because you only want to talk about Trump.
Right.
Yep.
He's not
Yep.
the only pedophile here. And
Round them all up. I don't give a fuck who's on the list.
Exactly.
Round them all up.
Yep.
And that's what drives me insane about this left-right stuff. You get so hyper-focused on the one guy you don't like that you ignore all these other pedophiles. Or all
Because the other pedophiles are on your team.
You guys are all crazy. There's no list.
Yeah. I mean, like that's what's so infuriating.
Nothing
Like,
to do here.
and like we talked about earlier, both sides do it. Both sides are like you were saying earlier. Nope, it's not my guy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The whole problem is that we have let our media divide us so much that we have people shooting people over speech. That's the problem. It's not whether it's your guy or their guy. That's not the problem. The problem is we've let this government and our media divide us. That's the problem.
Well, you're getting
negativity sells, and the dollar is king. Anything that's king.
Myron.
Comfort is king. The dollar is king. Queen, however you want to say it, it is top fucking dog, and that's all they want is money, and it's never enough.
Rick, go.
You're hitting on something. I mean, totally agree with both you guys. I mean, you think about 9/11. You look at who made money. You look at what happened last week, and look at all the laws that were passed that nobody talked about. In California, there were 2 significant laws that were passed.
Yeah, I said one to Rick. I was like, I can't believe this is real.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, the idea that both parties are pitting us against each other so we can be busy arguing about points of view that do matter, while the elite is busy doing other things with our money and our future and what have you. So that's a whole rabbit hole for another session.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Joe says, but he plus 50 more are protecting everyone on the list, and the 51 of them all have something in common. Yeah,
I think that's an incredibly superficial take. I'm just going to call you out on it.
I agree.
But Joe said something else. He said lies and bullshit are not part of FCC standards. Carlin told us what 7 words aren't allowed. And there's a point. So there was an explanation given. There was a guy, he was a lawyer on CNN, and I wish I had gotten the clip, but he basically made the case, and this is on CNN. This is not on Fox News. This guy was not a Republican, but he basically made the case that the FCC would be well within their rights to regulate what's on their airwaves, because the broadcast networks are using the government's airwaves, and that comes with some responsibility, and it goes beyond just cuss words. But I like, and fine, whatever. But my answer to that argument that, like, well, technically the FCC can do this is kind of like Great Shot said it earlier, and Jeff Goldblum said it in Jurassic Park. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And like we've like, I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen the FCC flex this kind of muscle to regulate what's said on their airwaves beyond obscenity. So, I mean, it just seems like, well, we can do this, so let's screw Jimmy Kimmel because he said something that we didn't like, and that to me is very.
In fairness,
I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like it, and I would much prefer if people want to call ABC or Disney and say, hey, Jimmy Kimmel's a piece of shit and he's a liar, and if they get enough complaints, they suspend him or whatever, fine. But to have the government signaling like they did, I'm not a fan of that.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever seen this much political discourse either, with people not being able to have civil conversations than we've had in these last, I would say, 10 years. This is it's gotten worse.
Agreed.
Over time. There used to be a time where, like, okay, I'll give you a perfect for example, during 9/11, when George Bush was the president, and he stood on that on the rubble.
The bear, Marianne.
Pardon? What did you say?
What did you say?
I said you're poking the bear. But I'm joking. Continue.
Oh! I'm sorry. I just, when he stood on the rubble and he said, you know, I hear you. The people of this country hear you, and soon everybody will hear you. I'm not trying to get into anything beyond the fact that, regardless of your political affiliation at that time, in 9/11, 2001, everybody stood behind the president of the United States. Last time. Thank you. Well, I really mean this point. What I'm saying is there's been such a great divide. It's never been this bad. Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with the keyboard warriors and social media, which has really emboldened people to say things behind a screen that they wouldn't say to each other's face.
Yeah.
Well, and
there's no doubt.
And our regular media. I mean, our regular media is doing the same thing. They're doing their best job to divide us. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that social media has amplified things. Cable news, cable media. I'll agree with you on that, Sean. Cable media definitely separates us. I mean, from MSNBC, CNN tries to say they're in the middle, but we know which way they lean.
No way.
Fox leans right, MSNBC leans left, CNN leans center left. They're more, so we know they try to divide us. The only thing that I will say is local news, they report on the weather and they report on local shit, and that's it.
And that's it.
They don't they don't no commentary. They don't give really any commentary.
It's a good point.
You know what our weatherman's name is? Patrick Hammer. Patrick Hammer.
Patrick Hammer. That's not a great porn name.
Come on, man.
Patrick Hammer, Storm Reed.
There you go.
Joe, I think that's kind of the point I was making, that they can do it, but they probably shouldn't, especially, and I think it's arbitrary. Yes, they'd just deciding, oh, well, shit, we haven't done this for 2 decades, but Jimmy Kimmel said something we don't like, so let's throw up the flag and let people know. And your point about the mergers as well, those two companies, we can't prove it, right? But it seems pretty convenient that these two companies who need the FCC to approve a merger are towing the line and saying, well, we're not going to carry Jimmy Kimmel. Again,
they're willing to bend a knee. They're definitely, it appears as though they're willing to bend the knee.
It's speculative, but
here's the thing,
they all have to be aware of how it looks,
Well, so that's exactly it. That's what I was going to comment on, is that now, granted, the problem is that we have all the context from the head of the FCC that gives us a lot of insight as to what was going on. But even if that was not going on, I think we may have seen similar actions taken, just because when you're doing a merger at this level, when billions of dollars are on the line, you have to be very cautious and protect your brand, essentially.
That goes back to Myron's point. Money is king.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that we would have seen a drastically different outcome, even if the FCC had not been involved, just because of kind of the political temperature at the time and Jimmy not really having the best take. But I mean, who's to say? That said, I'm still very much against what the FCC did. I mean, that's definitely the government getting involved and probably overstepping.
Yes.
I think everybody on the panel agrees with that.
Yeah.
Well, and then it becomes a free speech issue. I'm sorry, all the others talking about free speech, I think is bullshit. But the Jimmy Kimmel thing, as much as I don't like him, It's a free speech issue. I mean, the
absolutely,
FCC getting involved
But
makes it
it's a free speech issue, and if it was just contained to ABC executives and they made the decision that that didn't fit their brand, then that's within their right as a private company to make that decision.
Yes.
But
Right.
the FCC clouds it, to your point, Brian, and muddies it, and that's where we all agree that
Right.
that shouldn't be
Well,
shouldn't be a contributing factor.
Right, and if nothing else-
I think the description of the FCC working like somewhat mafioso is pretty apt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Urban Bounty, his ratings
Skyrocket.
That the ratings for his first night skyrocketed because everybody wanted to see what he said. But I was
It won't last.
reading an
You
article that
can't-
said the next night they were right back down.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
that's-
no. I
he's
did
not going to suddenly become Dave Chappelle. So
Yeah,
he's not-
right.
he's not
It's still
funny.
Jimmy Kimmel in the end. It's still
Yeah,
Jimmy.
he's not that funny. You're not going to fix that. So
I would have been doubling my my commercial time rates because I knew that I was going to get a bump and then it was
Yeah.
going to go back down. I don't know what his ratings are as opposed to the other comics on at that time of night because shit, most of the time I'm asleep. I'm trying to get in bed because I gotta
They're
be
all
up.
pretty bad.
Same,
I haven't
Myron.
watched Colbert since he was really on Comedy Central, and that's because I worked a rotating schedule. So I was able to catch him, and I thought he was pretty funny. He was a parody of a Republican, and I thought it came off as pretty good. When he went to the main show, I think I caught him here and there, and it was okay, but it wasn't. But
I like when he was
I'm
the toner champ in The Office.
So like
Rob.
Joe makes a great point here. He said that Jimmy had more views Tuesday than he had collectively all year.
Yeah. 100%.
God.
The late
Well,
night
look.
talk shows suck now. And Stymie, I would even go further back and say the last one that was worth the damn watching, although I didn't mind Craig Ferguson, David Letterman.
Craig was.
Oh.
I like
good.
Letterman.
Yeah, but I kind of fear now for Saturday Night Live.
I don't. It sucks.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, are they going to get nailed by the FCC?
No.
We need
You know what I
this
mean?
Chappelle
I-
show.
I
and
can
we need
Not
this-
after this backlash.
We need
I
the
don't think
Chappelle
they're gonna-
show.
I-
And we
I
need
think-
Living Color back. That's what we need. We don't need.
I think people in the
Yeah.
FCC are be like, okay, everybody, let's just shut the fuck up
I think
and not
that's
say anything.
Yeah.
probably a good idea.
Hey,
But-
look, guys. I was trying to stay on till 10:15. It's 10:17. I got to make a quick run. Brian, I'm gonna mute myself and cut my camera off. Put me backstage. If I come back and you guys are still on, I'll hop back on.
Sounds
because
good.
we,
Thanks, Myron.
we
Hi,
have
Myron.
we have to talk about the Google thing. There's no way
Yeah,
we can.
that was what I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
go to next.
Damn it! I was.
Good
so
night, guys.
enjoyed
I'll
that
be-
one.
All right, Myron.
Here is the next topic.
Now
of
I stand
discussion.
alone. Now I'm just a lone
There's-
soldier here.
No, you should not.
No,
you
you're
should
not.
not be alone. You should be.
You're not a lone soldier.
Listen, here is my issue with the absolute hypocrisy we have seen this week.
While you go through your monologue, Brian, I'm going to go get water.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Hundreds of Hollywood celebrities sign a petition for Jimmy Kimmel. They're going online and saying, cancel your Disney Plus and your Hulu and your ESPN because Disney suspended Jimmy Kimmel and it's a free speech issue. And everybody's screaming and crying free speech. Yeah. Don't, let's not relive that.
That's
So-
what she. Nope. Never mind.
Right.
Ben, where
So-
are you, Ben?
We've had all this talk about free speech right in the middle of all of this. And I don't care what people say about the timing of it and why it came out and when it came out. It does not matter. Right in the middle of all this talk about free speech, we get the Senate, I think it's the House Judiciary Committee's report on Google with executives from Google and YouTube testifying that the government, the Biden administration, was in constant contact with them and pressuring them to silence people who were putting out, quote, misinformation about COVID. Misinformation is the worst word that has come out of the social media era. There's no such thing. Like, I know there's information that is wrong, but to label something misinformation for the purpose of censoring it is bullshit. So
Agreed.
like this story comes out and suddenly there is zero curiosity about the First Amendment. Nobody has anything to say. No outrage. There's no petitions from our Hollywood celebrities. There's no protests anywhere about this. to anyone. And you know what? I say damn the Biden administration for doing it, and damn Google for following along with it. Google should have just said no, but just like Sinclair and Nexstar, they didn't have the balls to do it. So my issue is that we have infinite fight and curiosity and willingness to protest about the Jimmy Kimmel First Amendment violation. And on the other side of this, nobody has a damn thing to say about the censorship, the direct government censorship of people on YouTube, X, and what have you. And that, to me, like, you either believe in the First Amendment or you don't. And I sat here and told you I don't like what the FCC did to Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like what the Biden administration did to YouTube. Like,
who just? I'm just responding directly to Joe, but I can't let this slide. Who decides it's misinformation, Joe?
No, Joe. Yes, I agree with you, Sean. No, Joe, because misinformation is whatever somebody who doesn't like to hear it, it's whatever they label it as.
Because here's the problem, and I'm jumping ahead here. But the problem with the misinformation that was put out that people were canceled for, we now know was not misinformation. It was on, like, the Congress has gone through this and proved that, like, 75% of myocarditis cases were caused by the fucking shots. Okay,
right.
So it wasn't misinformation that people were being canceled for.
It just wasn't convenient.
And that's the thing. I've got a problem when you say, well, that's misinformation about the vaccine, and then we find out it wasn't. So who's gonna prove that it's misinformation? Are you going to trust the government to tell you, well, that's misinformation? Don't believe that.
And the reason that I particularly am fired up about this is because my dad had the first 2 shots and then 2 boosters, so 4 shots total. He had 0 heart issues before that.
Oh.
Now he can't work with me anymore.
No shit.
Don't you remember his father got sick? He had a
Yeah, he went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
I watched my father die for 7 minutes. Yeah.
No, he told us he was with his dad. I remember, yeah.
Oh, yeah, your dad. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Joe, that's fine. But when you're speculating without information, it's misinformation. That's fine.
Yep.
But the government
But
doesn't
it wasn't
censor it. Like, period, end of story. The
They
government
were trying to warn people.
Yeah. Like, I'm not. I'll agree with you on that point, Joe. But the other side of it is the government has to stay out of it. It doesn't matter. And we have testimony and this. I don't know if it's the House or the Senate. I think Jim Jordan's a rep, right? House of Representatives. I don't know, but whatever House put this out, we have testimony proving the Biden information was directly pressuring these companies to silence people, and that is censorship, and that is a First Amendment violation.
100%.
Period. End of story.
Sean, you're right, and that's terrible. I have a personal story. I'm not going to share it, but I hate to hear yours. I didn't hear it before. But you're right. I mean, what we're talking about is government overreach. Mm-hmm. It was government overreach. And I didn't know that until tonight, but I'm open-minded. And so if Brian says there's proof, I'm going to believe Brian because he's somebody I trust. So there's proof that the administration pressured the FCC to pressure ABC, then that's not okay. Even if it's convenient for it to be okay, because I might side a little bit more center right than center left. But right. I can say that that's not okay. And so again, we're trying to model the right behavior here when there are disagreements and there are different points of view. It's also not okay when the Biden administration misled the public with something that is so center to existing, and that's our health. Yes. And now you have to go into multiple rabbit holes of money and Pfizer and trillions of dollars being made and Bill Gates wanting to depopulize the world. That's a whole different rabbit hole on why that might be the case. And we're not going to talk about that tonight, but it's not the government's place to force that on us.
Correct.
And it's also not the government's place to use political influence and judges to go after candidates that they don't like. So let's be honest. I mean, the Biden administration targeted President Trump, Trump or not, they targeted him like it's never been targeted before. You've never seen anything like it before. And I kind of sound like Trump, and I hate that. That makes me cringe. But and without getting into a lot of detail, we're all talking about government overreach with the FCC, government overreach with Google, government overreach with the judicial system to try to further your agenda. We need our government to be public servants as those positions were originally created. And then you step out of that servitude and you go on with your private life. That's what we really need from our government, from a Republican or Democrat, Libertarian or Tea Party. It doesn't matter. That's what we really need from our government. And if we could ever get back there, it would be an amazing time.
I agree. I would like to speak to this comment that Bourbon Bounty made. We need to be able to trust our government. And you know what? What did he say?
He said that's not going to happen.
No, I know. But you know what? I really want to
Fuck
say
'em
during
is my position. My official position is fuck 'em, Bobby.
I'm
sorry,
really,
Jody.
Go ahead.
Oh, I
Yes.
really did. I really, really did. During COVID,
Oh, I know you did.
I listened, I watched the news, and I was 100% in on whatever was happening on the news. I am kicking myself now, to be very honest, for not doing some more research, for not investigating a little bit more. I'm a smart person. I have a master's degree, and I should have really done a little bit more research. But again, you have to understand, like, I was the president of the union at that time as well, and I was looking out for all of my members as we were going back into the school, and I was
And
going.
what did we have to do?
We had to clean. We had to wear masks.
Get shot.
Oh no! Oh yeah, we did. We did. Otherwise, we had to be tested.
And Joe, that's the difference here. Joe says if I went around saying knee surgery causes high blood pressure, it would be misinformation.
Yep.
That's true, Joe.
That's not what we're
The
talking
government
about.
are not forcing you to get knee surgery.
And also, that's not the misinformation we're talking about, Joe.
And that's a huge difference.
You are creating a straw man, which is not. That's not what happened. There were doctors that were deplatformed during the COVID situation because they were calling out myocarditis, and the cause was the shots. They were taken off of YouTube for saying that.
Correct.
And here's the thing, that was proven true later. So it was not misinformation. These were doctors that had experience. This is our medical community saying this is a problem, and they were not allowed to say that because the government said so. That's why I can't trust my government, because they were making a lot of money. And they didn't want anybody to know about the fact that people were getting sick because of the shots.
We should have been, honestly, we should have been a little suspicious with how fast the vaccine came to be, because vaccines don't come around that quickly.
And people, regardless of any of this, people were forced to get the shot.
Yep.
The government agencies, including our state's Department of Education, forced us to get a shot.
Joe,
to be
doctors
fair,
were
they
seeing
said
a
either we
pattern.
get the shot or we have to be tested weekly. That was what that is what they said. We were not we were not 100% forced. It was one or the other.
Okay.
Either we had to get the shot,
well, there
or
were
we
plenty
had
of
to
people.
subject
Okay,
ourselves
so
to
I will
be
say
tested.
this. There are plenty of examples, primarily the military, of people who
Yes.
did not have that option and were forced to get the shot.
So I just want to speak in
I know,
accuracies.
I know.
And that is the truth.
You are right. You are right, because there came a point where I stopped getting it. Like I got one and a booster, and then I was like, "Fuck this, I'm done."
Well, when we heard about the what is it called? I'm sorry, the heart and affecting children, and our son was playing hockey at the time, we were like, "Oh hell no, our baby's not getting another shot."
And by the way, I have probably a pretty extreme algorithm, but I was being fed the deaths of all kinds of teenage athletes at the time. I remember watching dozens and dozens of teenage athletes die around our country.
I want you to also know that since 2020, I personally have had COVID 4 times. And
well,
and
yeah,
I've had
the shots don't prevent you getting COVID. Yeah.
Correct. And so
I mean, there was a certain fellow that said that they would, but
so we have also stopped testing at this point. We're treating it just like
I think everybody has.
We're treating it like a cold. If I'm sick, I'm going to stay away from my friends who are susceptible and have autoimmune diseases. I have a couple of very close friends who get very sick if they get near people who are sick. So I'm going to take precautions with them. But beyond that, I'm just treating it like any other cold. But I'm still getting my flu shot every year, but that's a different story.
But,
but no more COVID shots for
here's
me.
my overall problem, and it's all the same subject. Honestly, it relates to everything we've talked about tonight. When we shut down discussion because someone decides, whether it be the government or anybody else, when someone decides you can't talk about this, then we don't move forward as a country because we don't decide, is this a good thing or bad thing? Is this true or false? Because we're not talking about it because someone decided that you can't.
You can't. Yeah. And it's taboo if you do, and you are the asshole if you are the one that goes against the popular conversation starter.
And that was my issue with this whole Google situation and with everything we went through with COVID, is that people were pointing out, hey, this might be a problem. They were deplatformed, so they no longer had a voice. So then we couldn't talk about it. I mean, I remember a time when basically everyone that was on social media couldn't even say the word COVID. They would use other words. I mean, you remember, like, everybody was using like
the code.
Yeah, everybody was using code words for COVID because you couldn't even say it because the algorithm would like shut you down. Like, when we're at that point, we have real problems. We can't even talk about the thing we're going through. We can't talk about symptoms that maybe we're having because someone decided you can't talk about that.
Yep. And it wasn't just someone, it was the government. And that is right there, First Amendment problem. Yes. Period.
And that's my issue. Like, this should not be a left-right issue. This is, I mean, to me, this isn't even politics. It's the opposite of that. It's our government overreach saying, you as a citizen do not get to talk about this because we're making too much money to talk about it.
Right.
And you want to talk about examples of fascism, you would argue that that's more fascist than anything else.
Right.
I mean, it's actually the definition of fascism. I mean, one of the tenets of fascism is you shut down your political opponents and any opposition. It's one of the first things that fascists do.
And the thing that makes it more egregious on the Google side is because we have people from Google saying, yeah, we did this. And yeah, the Biden administration pressured us. I mean, if in 5 years, we have testimony from people at the FCC that said Trump was on the horn with us and was like, shut down Jimmy Kimmel because I don't like what he said.
I'd feel the same
100% just as angry and outraged. I'm like, I can get there. But right now, we've got proof of one, and we've got speculation of the other.
Hey, baby, I know you can get there.
I can get there. I promise I can get there.
We needed to lighten the mood for just a second here. Sorry. Not sorry. I own my words. I'm not sorry. I meant to say
I haven't heard one "that's what she said" this entire night. I don't know if it's because
we've been too serious.
Okay.
So I guess let's
get to rapid fire.
If there's are there any final thoughts on this before we move on? Hold on.
Just really watch your government.
Absolutely.
That's all I will say.
Rick, anything on this?
I'm with you guys. That's it. Yeah. We're all aligned on this.
All right. Okay. I have a final comment.
What?
It looks to appear that Rick is going to be a permanent member of the Whiskey Six. And I just want to say, I texted him privately, but
he like a round of applause or a cheers or something.
Yep. I wish we had the we had Ben's soundboard. You are so eloquent and so delightful in the way you speak to people. It is a true pleasure speaking to you. I wrote this to you in a text like 10 minutes ago. And I'm so glad that you are going to be here permanently.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you, Marianne. I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah. You guys are great people, and it's awesome to be able to talk with people that have different views, but that are like-minded and respectful and intelligent and logical. And it's
above
fantastic.
all, what we are doing here is having professional, polite, respectful conversations with one another. And I think we, above anything else, even the 21 people who are watching this show tonight can see that polite conversations can happen among people and still like each other at the end of the night.
Thank you, Bourbon Bounty. Appreciate it. I mean, like, guys, and really, like, this is kind of the direction we're going with this show.
Civility it needs to prevail, and I hope that we are setting a good example for people.
But I think we've all kind of made the decision that, like, talking about whiskey is fun, but there's 100 streams you can go listen to people talk about whiskey.
We're trying to do something different.
Maybe it might be nice to talk about something more of substance. So this is kind of the direction we're going with this. So
we just have to be careful.
If you guys like it, spread the word and let people know, because there's not many people. I mean, I'm not trying to toot our horn, but there's not many people in Whiskey Tube that get into this. They're talking about, their cigars and their whiskey, which are all great, but like, and I think sometimes people go to Whiskey Tube for an escape. But if you want to talk about stuff of substance and kind of see another side of the people that are on these Whiskey Tube channels, like, spread the word and let people know.
It's nice to see that there's intelligence behind the people who are making YouTube videos out there.
So
one thing, Brian, because we haven't mentioned it tonight, and I almost forgot until it just popped back in my brain. We have an announcement to make tonight, right?
Yes, we do.
Brian was just fishing around for it.
Here we go.
You guys, I have such a great rapid fire.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, you put the thing in there.
I put the Whiskey 6 logo in it.
Nice.
Yeah. So Sean.
Although tonight we're the Whiskey 3.
Yeah, I know. Sean, do you want to let them know what we know?
Sure. Yeah. So we finally have some movement on the pick. Basically we were waiting on a couple things, the government and also bottles. So the bottles are in, the labels are being made for said bottles. So hopefully if everything goes well, we'll be getting the bottles filled with liquid here soon and getting a pick to you guys really soon. I mean, I know I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait for you guys to be able to taste it. So and one thing I have to say to everyone, the way we've decided to do this, and it doesn't matter which Patreon you decide to sign up for, but at least join one of our Patreons so that you can have access to it, because Patreons will get first access to the pick. So if you want to get first access to the pick, then join at least one of our Patreons.
Correct. Again,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's mine or it's Bourbon School or DRC or Bad Axe Bourbon or Bourbon Drop or
Bourbon Note.
Bourbon Note. Yeah, I was blanking. Sorry, Ben, if you're saying this. But join one of them. That way we can send you the link out and you guys will have first access. And then I think what Brian, I mean, I don't want to speak for the group, but I think what we've decided to do is then we'll just drop the link in the stream that night as well afterwards. So but either way,
viewers and for people watching the stream,
Sean, you absolutely can speak for the group, my friend.
Yeah. So, but either way, Patreons, you get first crack at this. So if you want the first shot, make sure you get a bottle. And what we're probably going to do, I don't know if we've decided for sure, is like something like limit of 2 maybe at first. So we'll probably do limit of 2 at first. And so if you're not a Patreon of one of us right now, then definitely sign up, because the pick is definitely coming now. I know it's been a long time coming and there's been a lot of delays, but it's finally on its way. Hopefully we'll be getting bottled soon. So pretty exciting times. Hopefully you're excited about it. Yeah.
It is going to be Corbin Cash's first rye bourbon blend.
Yes.
So we've decided to call it Bon Rye Bon, and there's the only James Bond you really ever need.
That's
Sean Connery holding up a glass of that delicious amber liquid.
So good. So
that's gonna end up on the bottle, guys.
And I shared this with the group earlier, but funny enough, this is the Sean that I am named after. So
no shit.
You said that in the text today. Yeah.
Sometimes the texts get a little too much for me, so I have to just scroll to the end.
I can't imagine who would do something like that.
No. Right.
Hanging. It's going to be their first one ever. We kind of had the idea to do something different, and David was very accommodating and letting us kind of play around with it. And so we're going to be the first Boo Rye.
I love when David lets me play around with it.
That's one of the reasons it's taking so long.
Where's Ben? Where's Ben when you
Rick?
That's one.
I'm going to have to talk
with David. He said.
Stymie, if you join school or if you don't join school, if you join another one, that's fine. You can hit me up. My email is on the channel, and I can see what I can do about getting you one of those rare breed non-chill filters.
Oh, that's a Haas thing.
I'll hit up Haas.
Okay, it's time to lighten things up. Let's go.
Okay.
Well, just final kind of quick little note thing. So the reason we're going with Rye Bon instead of Boo Rye for the folks that aren't in the know is that for whatever reason, High West Distillery actually trademarked that term, so we can't use that officially, which is why we came up with our own thing. So hopefully you guys find that all equally amusing. So yeah. That's the Bond Rye Bond.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So looking forward to that. Hopefully in the next couple of months. It does still, once a label is done, it has to go to the TTB again. But one of the holdups was David was waiting on the TTB to tell him what he can and cannot do.
Yes.
And that took a while.
It just keeps reminding me of the People Mover at
Is
Disney.
that more government overreach?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it might
Probably.
be. I think it
Yes,
might be.
Rick.
For a friend.
All right. So let's
Final note:
lighten it up.
taxation is theft. Never forget.
Let's lighten it up before we get out. Marianne has begged me to let her do a.
Let Rick go first. I'll go
rapid
last.
fire,
No, I'm
so-
not prepared. Mine's too serious. You go first.
Okay.
Oh, mine is good.
So go ahead.
This is so easy. Brian and I are planning a family trip. We're going to the Big Five in Utah this
Mighty
summer.
Five.
The Mighty Five in Utah with our kids. We've been doing road trips like this with our kids for years now. Will be our third. And I am super excited to do this. And one thing that I really want to do that Brian is kind of putting
said no.
He's putting his foot down about it. So I want to know, would you like to base jump in Moab? We'll start with Rick.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I am so I grew up as a racer, motorcycles and cars. I had a daughter, realized I had mortality, needed to be around a little longer. So I decided to go slower, moved to California and started building Jeeps. And so I build radical off-road Jeeps. So one of the 3 epic places to take Jeeps is Moab. And I've never been. So if I ever get to Moab, it will be in a Jeep.
Okay.
But not off a cliff.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern.
All right, Sean. Over to you, my friend.
I would jump anywhere
I know
with
you
you, Marianne, and wherever you want to base jump, we'll do it.
I love him.
I'm going to answer for both of us. The answer is no.
Wait a minute. I am a strong, independent woman, and the answer is yes. I would tandem jump. I would tandem base jump for sure.
You can go with Joe. He'd do it in a heartbeat.
All right, Joe. Do you want to do it with me?
Whoa! It's
that is literally what she said. I mean, we don't even have to.
All right.
Oh, Byron's going too.
See? Wait a minute. I'll just propose this to all of our people in the chat. Anybody want to do it with me, guys?
Oh my God. This is horrendous.
Control your wife, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, F that.
That's
hard.
what she said.
I knew that'd get her fired up.
My God.
Go right on it.
Okay. All right. All kidding aside, Brian said to me about, I think it was about a month or 2 ago, he said,
That's
why
why
can't
we
you
have a
ever
5
just
way,
say-
apparently. Oh, no.
B said to me, why can't you just ever say okay? And I looked at him and I said, we've been together for 26 years, married for 22. I was like, have I changed in these last 22 years?
No.
You know what you got into. I'm not just the okay kind of person. If you want to have a discussion with me, we will have a discussion, but I'm not just an okay kind of lady.
There
And
seems
that's
to
just
be,
what it's going to be.
from my own personal experience, Brian, there seems to be a running theme in the Italian ladies in this regard. So,
Listen, do you guys want a wife that you can just steamroll for real, or do you want a partner?
No.
In what context are we
Negative.
talking about steamrolling?
Well, you know, there's certain places where I'll let you steamroll me, babe.
okay.
do I need to get on Urban Dictionary to figure out what steamrolling means?
Rick, do you have a
6, we're up to 6 now.
fun, light, easy,
Anyway, yes,
rapid fire?
I'm going base
You're
jumping in
yelling.
Moab.
You're also yelling.
No,
at them.
I want to pass to Sean because I can't
Okay.
compete with base jumping. So I'm gonna
Okay.
give it to Sean. Sean, you're on the spot
Oh, man.
as
I thought I was out of it. So,
a
okay.
veteran.
All right. So here's the thing. Like Brian gave me this weird caveat where I have to go lighthearted, which is not really what I do.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. I feel like this is about as lighthearted as I get. We're gonna do. I know this is gonna be weird for the fellas, so I apologize.
Okay.
We're gonna go fuck, marry, kill. W, Trump, and Biden. Where are we going?
Oh,
Whoa.
all right. Say it again. W, Trump.
Yeah, the W. George
Biden?
W.
Can we have one for the guys?
Okay, all right. So yeah, we'll give the guys one. All right, let's see here. AOC, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Pelosi.
Okay.
Are we allowed to do this? Seriously, I don't know if we should do this. I don't know if honestly, I don't know if we should do this.
Just say the
Oh.
names in order and that's it. You're done.
Oh,
Honestly, I'm not kidding. I don't know if Brian and I should do this because we're teachers, and I don't want to talk about killing somebody. In
Okay, so that's
for real.
fair. All right.
I'm sorry. I hate to be a damper, but I don't think he and I should do that.
We'll rewind that.
Yeah, that never happened. Well,
Sorry.
okay. All right. How about this? Actually, wait a second. I have a book of things here. Give me a second. I have a whole page of fun things.
I don't want to have political tyranny.
Scrolling. Where's the thing? No.
Great shot. Thanks for nothing, Sean. That's so
Sorry,
funny.
I'm really sorry.
I tell you, I don't know what. No, that's Epstein stuff. That's not going to do it.
I will
You
tell you.
guys can play in the chat. We just are
You-
going to
Okay.
You guys, I'll tell
All right.
you when we go off air.
All right, here we go.
who I would, but I can't put that. I can't put
Right.
that on recording.
So I feel like I don't know if I did this with you guys or some other group, but this will be fun. All right, so be forced to announce every time that you poop and or fart for the rest of your life, like out loud, wherever you are, or have sex with the first person you see every time you leave the house for 5 days.
Oh, hell yeah! I'm taking the sex.
What? I better be standing right outside the front door every morning for 5 days.
Brian's like, I'm right here, Marianne. I'm right here. You can't say that in front of me.
Oh my God.
Well, Brian, you know where we need to be standing every day for the next 5 days.
I guess so. Well, I guess it depends on where I'm staying for those 5 days.
Am I leaving the house?
Well, I mean, that's up to you. You
If
might.
if I'm staying home, then I'm. Well, if I'm staying home, I'm definitely taking.
No, so again, it says have sex with the first person you see every time you leave the house
I'll leave
for
the
5
house.
days.
This is-
Think about this. Think about our neighborhood.
Oh God.
Yeah, you have no choice in this.
I'm taking the poop and fart.
Okay.
I retract my statement. I'm taking the poop and fart. I'm gonna have to take it and
I'm
embarrass myself.
I'm going to have to announce my poops and farts also.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's fair.
We live in a very family friendly neighborhood. I retract my initial statement.
Jody's right though. She did say I'm taking the sex.
She did. No, seriously, Jody, I'm just a middleman here. I bring, whatever. Rick, what are you doing?
This is the worst rapid fire
It's
ever.
terrible.
This
Sean,
is a real
Sean.
Sophie
Like,
Schwartz.
you were under pressure.
God.
Like I couldn't have done better, so I'm not going to throw stones from a glass house. But
It's fair.
yeah,
It's fair.
definitely the fecal announcement.
Poop and fart. Poop and fart.
I think I as well, just given what I know about my neighborhood, it's unlikely I'm going to see someone 5 days in a row that I would be willing to have sex with. So, yeah, so I'm going to be announcing pooping and farting. So,
Yeah,
well,
for real.
yeah. We live very boring lives to some degree, I guess, but oh well.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's wrap it up here. Rick.
One time I have to do it. Rick. I didn't even see you there. Rick.
Okay.
I have more
Rick.
if you like.
No, you save them.
These
Save
are
'em.
horrible,
Save 'em.
horrible choices. After I've had 2.5 pours of bourbon, shame on you for asking me these
Hagen
questions.
said you're classing up this whole dang chat up, if I'm honest.
Thank you.
It's true. It's true. Somebody has to.
So
Thank you.
awesome.
Cran said, nope, UPS guy delivers enough packages in this
Oh,
neighborhood. I like
all
it.
right. Well, I'm taking the sex if it's
Okay.
a UPS guy.
What? My God. It's
Uh-oh.
actually a former student.
Now you know what to
Again,
watch
he's
out
right
for.
there.
Okay, let's end this. Rick, are you making content on your channel? You got anything coming
Oh,
up?
he's making content.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my! I don't know what's happening.
So if Bobby were here, he would do an entire tirade of how bad I am with my channel. I've got hours and hours and hours of content recorded, but
No shit.
I have a busy work life,
Yeah.
and it's a priority for me. So I have not committed the time to editing. So at some point this year, I'm going to release some videos that I recorded 12 months ago
Okay,
and put them on my channel.
cool.
But
Those will be
the
timely.
closest thing that you can expect to see is live streams with Bobby and I doing like a duet, and so I think
Okay.
he's going to do one with Parker since he's home soon. I may go and kind of drop in on that. And then when I get a little time to myself, I'll get some editing in, and we'll get some more content. So the content's recorded, just needs to be edited.
Awesome.
Wait, no,
And-
wait.
Stop. And you guys have picks coming, right?
We have picks. Yes, we have picks. So I just heard back from Garrison Brothers. They're sending us the samples. I got my Garrison Brothers shirt tonight. I was pretty excited about that. I'm wearing it.
Nice.
And she actually offered to come up and do a private tasting at Bobby's house or my house, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
But whether or not they're going to come up or they're going to send us the picks. And we really like their single barrel and the Guadalupe. But
Okay.
the single barrel has to be cast strength. The regular single barrel stuff, I'm not a fan of. The honeydew is terrible. The small batch is terrible. Sorry, Garrison. You got to call it like I see it. But they're higher end whiskeys. The Cowboy is exceptional. And I
Cowboy is
really
good.
like the Guadalupe. Balmoral is okay, but I'm definitely a Still Austin fan. But Garrison is really growing on me, so we're gonna try to find a single barrel we like. If we like one, we're gonna do it. We've got a Corbin Cash pick coming. It's a 9-year single barrel rye.
Okay.
The first finished whiskey that Corbin Cash has ever done, as long as we get the TTB to approve it.
Correct.
Sweet potato spirit casks.
Interesting.
So that's nice. It'll take a little bit of the edge off, make it,
Yeah.
palatable. And we're looking at Pursuit, and then certainly Sabbatical. We love Sabbatical because they're right down the street, and they're great people. So we got some things coming.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. And then what is the I know the Balmoria is the double oaked, right? What is the Guadalupe?
Yes. Where's my Guadalupe? Are you right here? Yeah. This is a port cast finish, and it's 107. It's 107. And I'm actually not a big port cast guy. Sabbatical's got one of the best port finish that I've ever had. The batch 5 is exceptional, but this Garrison is delicious. Now, Bobby went out to Sabbatical for like a local meetup, and a couple of the guys came and met him. He grabbed a couple of the bottles I had. He grabbed a couple of his bottles, and they tasted them. And they actually liked the barrel strength single barrel better than the Guadalupe. Okay. Bobby and I like the Guadalupe better. So it'll be interesting to see which barrels we get from Garrison when it comes to the single barrels.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, exciting. Cool stuff.
All right.
I have one thing to say.
Well, I want to get this show.
Yeah, I will. Rick,
Yes.
own your words, buddy. Listen, you don't have to say I'm sorry, but I am telling people all the time from now on, if you're going to say something, this is my new stance.
This is their new soapbox. Yeah.
It is. If you want to say something, you do not have to say I'm sorry, but you just
Did I
say
say
what you
that?
want to say, buddy, and just get going with it. You do not have to apologize for the things you want to say.
That's right.
No,
We're 10 toes down on freedom of speech over here.
Absolutely. Sean, you streaming this weekend?
Yeah, probably. I haven't decided what I'm doing, but yeah, I'll probably be streaming. Yeah, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be live. Yeah, so
right on. All right, and we, I don't know what we have going on. We've got a review Monday. We've got a video Wednesday about. So a couple weeks ago,
Lauren came and filmed.
Yeah. But this is the video I just did.
Also, before we shut down, I have to say hello to Delan. I've been meaning to all night, and I keep seeing his comments and not saying hello. So, Delan, glad to see you, buddy. It's been a while, so happy to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while, Delan. And by the way, Delan, so he's Whiskey Nature here, so go subscribe to that channel. But we've also got Delan's, I think it's like Delan's woodworking designs, amazing stuff he makes on that channel. So go check that one out too.
Everyone loves to watch Delan work his wood. It's
absolutely
universally agreed upon.
Yes, Sean.
So we've got a video. I did a video a few weeks ago. Lauren and I did about bottles that aren't as good as they used to be. And I kind of shit on 5 bottles. And then I thought maybe we should do a follow-up where we talk about like, here's what you can replace them with. So that'll be coming next Wednesday. Then we'll do Whiskey 6 in 2 more weeks. We're going to have coming up, we're going to do a live with the folks from Black Fork Farms. We're going to be on a live with Walt and Tina from what's Adventures?
Adventures in, I don't know.
I can't remember the name. It's failing me right now, but we're going to be on their channel.
Yep.
I can't remember. We're also supposed to be on a live with Doc on Old Fashioned Way. So we're going to do trivia with them.
People where we're going.
No. So we've got some exciting things happening. And again, all of us have a Patreon. And if you want to be first in line for our Corbin Cash Pick, make sure you join one of our Patreons. We have all kinds of levels, all kinds of perks.
Are the links in our description box tonight, Brian?
No, but I will add them. How about
Anybody with a
Oh,
wrench?
there's Bobby.
feel
Bobby's
free-
here.
Anybody with a wrench, feel free to drop our Patreons. Also, we have Bobby. Look at that.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Brother Bobby.
Our-
You made it.
Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. Maybe.
Well, Bobby, I think we need some axe hits to the table. We got the pick coming. Finally, it's
Dude,
coming.
right?
4, 5, 6.
There we go. Yeah.
Dang. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Well,
Man.
welcome, Bobby. You came just as we were saying good night. So before
Hi.
we get out of here, what do you got coming up, brother? Rick told us about all the picks.
I got some videos banked. I have some hunt videos, some
Cool.
regular videos. Bottle
All right.
shop's always open, so there's that.
All right. Awesome.
Baby
Oh,
Bad
hey,
Axe is
Bobby.
here, so he'll be live streaming with me soon.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Bobby,
How'd
tell
you
them about
join the
the
Air
High
Force,
and
Bobby?
Wicked Judge that you just bought and we tasted.
dude.
It was freaking amazing. You guys
Oh,
had
the
that
High-
before?
You guys had High and Wicked? High and
I have
Wicked the
not had
Judge?
High and Wicked.
14
It
years?
was awesome.
Dude, it's incredible. You know what else
Bobby,
is
I was about 35 minutes late because our son is in the Civil Air Patrol.
okay, cool.
Yep, he's looking to go to a college that has Air Force ROTC, and he wants to go into the Air Force when he's done. So,
Right on.
yeah,
He
I
wants to go
know.
fly, it sounds like, though. He wants to go fly, though, it sounds like.
Yeah, he wants to fly.
Oh, for sure. He's taking a
He's-
flight on October 5th and then November 3rd.
He's going to end up flying something now. If he had his way, it'd be a jet, but we'll see. He's going to end up flying something, though.
for sure.
Right on. That's
Nice.
awesome.
We're pretty proud. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Right on. Did,
All right,
did I miss
guys.
a good one?
What's up?
What?
Did I miss a good one?
Oh, we had fun. Yeah, it was a good one tonight. I think
Right
it was.
on.
Oh.
Chat, let us know what you thought. I thought it was a good show tonight.
Especially the way I ended things.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, talking about sex with the UPS man. All right, well, guys, let's do this. Hey, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We're at almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we
So-
started early and still didn't finish on time.
Before we go, make sure if you want to be first in line for that pick, join one of our Patreons, and B, make sure you subscribe not only to this channel, the Whiskey Six, but go subscribe to DRC, Whiskey Wars, Mash and Metal, Bad Axe Bourbon, Bourbon Note, Bourbon Drop, and Bourbon School.
Shout out to our buddy Ben, who we missed tonight.
We missed you, Ben. Bobby, I'm glad you made it for at least the last couple of minutes. Appreciate
Well,
you, brother.
I guess I got the whole, like the first part of the last show. I said I better come in for the end of this show.
Right, exactly.
Jeez, dude.
So, folks, thanks for watching tonight. We appreciate you all. Have a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And take care and cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.